It's right on top of cement. Tornado warning now for cement. If you live up to Chickasha, if you live to Ninnekah especially, got to go to your safe spot, lowest level, center part of the house. If you live in a mobile home, you've got to get out. You got to go find a neighbor. Surely you have a plan in place already of what to do and where to go. If a tornado is approaching you, you have time. If you live up and down Highway 81, but you cannot wait. You have to go now. And there it is right there. Okay, there it is. So Hank is still making his way south. Let's go back to Hank and get an update. And Hank, circulation is going to be right over cement. And there's the updraft. What do you think, Hank? Anything hanging out there? Wow, look at the updraft. Look at that shot from Hank.
Yeah, no, like I say, David, it's gotten its act together, and it is maturing. I'm about a mile north of west of Ninnekah, and I'm looking due back to the west. So you can see right there on the right, we have the heavy rain and precip core. Just to the south of it, we have the rain-free base. There's a couple of little lower areas, but I don't see a pronounced wall cloud. We don't even see a whole lot of rotation with it. I can see a little movement with the scud, but I'm not seeing anything that is imminent of a tornado. However, this is a very dynamic and changing environment. You can see what looks like right there. Patty, zoom in right here. What looks like a little bit of a wall cloud starting to form. So the base is lowering just a little bit. Like I say, I'm about a mile northwest of Ninnekah, and I'm looking back to the due west, so it's going to be probably just right north of cement. And you can see it's a dynamic changing storm that's actually maturing, and you're watching it right before your eyes organize as the base is starting to lower, David.
Yeah, Hank, an incredible shot. And this is going to be for the only tornado warning in the state now. This is Grady County. We have severe weather, yes, moving into Oklahoma City. We'll get back to that here in just a second. If you have a car that's parked outside here in Oklahoma City, you need to move it into whatever, awning, covering, garage, anything you want to protect here in Oklahoma City. If it's outside and you can't protect, do it now. You've got some time, but not much for large hail and damaging winds in Oklahoma City. Okay? All right, so this is scud developing underneath the wall cloud. The wall cloud is forming right here. Hank, what do you got?
David, as I watch this, just kind of looking down the road just a little bit, Blanchard and Dibble, if this rotation goes south of you, you're going to have big hail. So just be thinking of that as this moves towards the MedPro. It's going to impact Tabler and Dibble and Blanchard if it continues lifting to the east-northeast, David.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. And I know sometimes there's so many moving parts of this. You're talking about that. Yeah, a tornado. Oh, yeah, hang on a second. More people will actually, at least at this point, be impacted by quarters, golf balls, and maybe even some tennis ball size hail. So this is the left side of the updraft. There's the right side. And right here, right, we call this the bell. There's the right side, the left side of the bell. If you get a tornado, that's the ringer in the middle. Hopefully we won't get one, but the scud is beginning to develop underneath the updraft. That means the pressures are lowering. It's getting stronger. It is not gusting out. It's very unstable where this is, and it is in a tornado environment-rich area.
Yeah, it's 80 in Norman, 78 Chickasha, southeast wind with dew points in the upper 60s, so feeding all ahead of that storm.
And right now, this is the most dangerous storm in the state, hands down. And you're looking at it live right here on News 9. Okay, Jim's coming in from the north. Okay, let's get back to it here. Let's go to Links 3, and the hook is wrapping around here, right? The hook is, I think it's right here. It's just north of I-44.
Yes.
There's another area here. You see that?
Right.
Is that an anticyclonic? It is. Isn't it anticyclonic?
Yep.
No, it's cyclonic. Barely. So there's two areas of spin. A little bit of a hook here. That's not the tornado warning. The tornado warning is right here, just east of cement. For that right there. That is spinning. And that's going to go right up. Let's go ahead and lapse this. Let's try to get our motion here. Hank's right there. Okay, it's moving east-northeast.
Yeah, it's almost hugging 277. That southern circulation is.
Ninnekah, you folks in Ninnekah, if you're watching, if you're listening to me online, whatever, on your phone, you need to be thinking about going to a safe spot. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 miles to your west-northwest. It's moving east at about 25. It won't take long to get there. Let's do a storm track. Let's go to Links 4. Take a look at the storm track, and we're talking about Ninnekah now. And we'll put it in Ninnekah at 5:53. 5:53 in Ninnekah. That's not that far away. So you have a little bit of time, about 20 minutes. Okay? Give or take about 20 minutes with that in Ninnekah. Ellick, 6:11. Dibble, 6:32. Payne, 6:43. That's farther east. Purcell, you folks in Purcell, 7 o'clock. Okay, Norman Regional at 7:06. And the north side of the storm is going to try to come up into Norman. So that'll be the South Metro. And then we have the other severe storms running out in Canadian County. And these are going to move right across the city. They're not going to hang around all evening. They're going to be in, they're going to be out. They're going to move rather quickly through here. But what they do when they get here is a problem with large hail and damaging winds.
And we've got another kind of bookend area starting to form to the west of Cushing now. So damaging winds coming down Northwest Expressway, and it's trying to wrap back in southeast of Kingfisher.
Greg, if you can hear me, just make sure Jim is on the east side. I don't want him getting any precip because he might get some hail being lofted out. So make sure that he's precip free. I still see him moving south. I just don't want him to encounter any ejecting hail out of the updraft. That's a bummer.
And there is a flash flood warning that's been issued for Kingfisher and northern Canadian County just because that area had 1.5 inches of rain this morning. And now totals are up to about 2.5 inches. So basically up and down Highway 81 from Hennessy to Dover, Kingfisher, Okarche, and down to El Reno. Turn around, don't drown. This is very heavy rain.
Let's go to Hank now. Let's get an update from Hank. Let's take Hank's shot. And Hank said he had a, sorry, Lacey, I mean,
go ahead,
let's go back to Hank there. It looks like we have a funnel developing, wall cloud getting better organized.
Yeah, David, there's a little bit of lowering right there that's just on the south edge of the rain core, and we've seen some wrapping rain curtains, and we just saw a little needle funnel. So this is going to be in between Ninnekah and probably north of Cement, maybe headed close to Norge. I am at about the Highway 19 junction and Highway 81, and I'm looking straight back to the west, and that looks like it dissipated. But we did have a little needle funnel there, so this storm is organizing, and we're starting to get some hail here. But hail's coming to Ninnekah, so just secondary. Patty, back out showing the plate. Yeah. So we've got striations here. You can see the storm has really matured. Patty will show you the striated plates right there.
Wow.
And we've got just more and more rising motion. Back over here.
Yeah, on the left side.
Right here next to the rain core. I know it's kind of grainy, but we've got another little area of rising scud that's rotating there, David.
Yeah.
The storm continues to mature, and it's spinning and getting more and more pronounced of the rotation that's in this storm right now, David.
Okay, yeah, no doubt about it. So Hank has scud lifting up into it. It's not a clear shot here. He's where he needs to be, but it's a little rainy on the east side. But this is an area of spin. It almost looks like you got the dry air cut trying to come in there too, Hank. I don't know.
There is a dry slot on the backside. There's a dry cut coming in, and it's wrapping right into where that lowered area of scud is that Patty is showing you right now.
Yeah.
That's an area of rotating scud that's being pulled out of the rain core up into the base of this storm. Patty, back out real quick, showing the base. But the whole thing is huge. This base is big. It's probably 4 or 5 miles in length here. It's a big base, but you can see on the right side there that she backed out. You can see where the business is, and it's going to be just to the northwest of Ninnekah. It's going to be very close to Norge, David, in my opinion, right now. Like I say, I'm at Highway 19 and 81, looking just northwest of west. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Great job. So, and also it's beginning to clear out a little bit. So he's getting better visibility. The rain is getting a little bit less. It's getting closer to him. So there's the right side of the mesocyclone. The left side is all the way off the screen here. But what's going to happen is we're going to get an area that's going to try to tighten up and try to produce. It has not yet. If it had, you would have seen it live here on News 9, right? It has not. Let's go to Jim Gardner now. Hank's on the ground. Let's go up top. Let's bring in Jim Gardner from the air. He is on that storm now. And as he comes around, there's the big updraft. There's the area of spin. Another shot there from Jim Gardner and Bob Mill Sky News 9. Go ahead, Jim. Jim Gardner?
I'm losing Marty down here. I can't get it down here.
Okay, let's cut Jim. Okay. All right, here we go. So here's the deal. That shot is from Jim, and he's going to come around. He'll come around, and on the right, you're going to have your wind, yes, your heavy rain, and your big hail. And then here's your updraft, or here's your mesocyclone. Okay. So there's your mesocyclone, and you can see the right side of the meso, which is right there. This is where the tornado warning is. Okay. We'll get Jim figured out. We'll check back in with him coming up. Okay, let's go back to Links 3 and give you the overview. Area of spin is, again, right here. You can clearly see that now. Southwest of Cushing. Not tornado warned, but it is definitely spinning there. It's what we call a bookend vortex on the north side. And, wow, Jim's shot is just amazing. Wow, that's amazing. And then, okay, that's headed up towards, and it's going to go south of Guthrie. Area of spin there. Area of spin up here. That Val's watching up near Cement. And then
Crescent.
And then, I'm sorry, Crescent. I'm still in Southwest Oklahoma. And then as we jump down farther south here. Okay, let's go back to Jim Gardner's shot.
Okay.
And do we have Jim's audio figured out?
Well, Marty's in and out down there.
Okay, have him call in. Just have him call, please. And look at the left side. Do we have Jim's audio?
Yep.
Let's go to Jim now. There you go, Jim. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, David. Okay, I'm about 3 miles to the southeast of Ninnekal, shooting back to the west. And tell me we haven't seen this today before. This is the back side of that storm that Hank's on. And then we're going to pan back to the right here and pan back to the right. Now we just got this huge donut sitting in the air again, David, like we saw this earlier today. And that's what produced a tornado. And this is the same exact thing. As we pan back to the left again, you're going to see this is setting all by itself. It's a little bright. It's a little hot there, Rich. You didn't turn down. There you can see the blue skies, clear skies behind it. Nothing to impede it. There's nothing coming up behind it, David. This is just another classic situation for this to produce a tornado. We'll stay with it. Keep you updated. Jim Gar reporting live from Bob Mills. Scotty's 9, back to you.
Wow, great job there, and for you and Rich, and great shot, Jim. Tells the whole story. And again, we call this a stack of pancakes because you have plates lined up, and as he tilts up here, you can see those plates. Folks, that is the mesocyclone. Look, boom, boom, boom. Look, all the way up. How many pancakes you want, right? How many you want on that? Look at the plates all the way to the top, all the way. That's the left side.
If you're in Oklahoma right now, I suggest that you find a mattress and get under it because this bitch is big.
It's a vertical wall, and this thing is really, really going to try to produce a tornado. We hope it doesn't. We hope it doesn't, but if it does, we're going to be right there. It is getting stronger, though. It is tightening up. Okay, so control room, let's keep his shot here, and let's move that over. That is an incredible shot, and also with Hank's. Let's keep Hank's shot up. And let's go back to, there we go, Links 3.
And while you're showing that, David, the rain has ended in Kingfisher. There's a report 1 mile north of Kingfisher along Highway 81 of 12 inches of water, yes, over Jackson Avenue and Highway 81, preventing cars from going through. So
is it over 81?
Over 81 is what this is saying, yes.
Yeah, the creek, they're always right on the west side, north side of town. It'll come up, but it'll go down, all right?
The rain has ended there.
Yeah, the rain's ended, so the Highway 81 that is closed and blocked, another couple hours, and it'll drop, and everything will be good.
We had a highway rescue this morning, so just,
I saw that.
Folks, be careful.
Yeah, and that was kind of a wild deal, too. Okay, so big hail now, quarter-size hail is north of El Reno, coming into Piedmont. We'll do a storm track on that. I see Cassie's already beat me to it. Running in El Reno. Look at that shot from Jim of that supercell down there, folks. If you are a weather enthusiast, if you're a closet weather junkie, that is impressive. That is an LP-ish looking supercell, kind of a hybrid, where we can completely see the updraft. Okay, I'll get back to that in just a second. All right, and then there's Hank's shot, right? So there's Hank's. There's Jim's shot. Okay, so here's what's coming in Oklahoma City. Nothing tornadic. We have areas of spin, hail up to the size of golf balls, winds right now 50 to 60 miles per hour. Maybe some gusts to 70. So 60 now in Piedmont, coming into Piedmont. So if you live in Oklahoma City, get ready for winds 50 to 60, large hail, damaging winds. Okay, up to quarters, maybe even some golf balls, and some of the streets in here. 69 now. Okay, so here's Northwest Expressway. Here's Banner Road, and what do we have here? Go ahead and zoom on in here. Let's take a closer look at these streets.
Okay, let me get the look there. Okay, Moffett, Northwest, and there's Apache.
Yeah.
Chester's Party Barn.
Chester's Party Barn. I swear that place is.
They get a lot of wind.
They get a lot of wind. Look at that shot, folks, from Jim Gardner. Unbelievable. Okay, wall clouds getting more pronounced. It's going to try to produce a tornado, but not in Oklahoma City. This is going to be a straight line wind event. Winds 60 to 70 miles per hour. The straight line winds now running from Four Corners down to Piedmont, down to El Reno. Okay, down to El Reno. The blue and the green, those are winds 50 to 60 plus miles per hour. Spreading east, now pounding Piedmont, coming into Four Corners, going to Deer Creek, Galardia, Rose Creek, all of Oklahoma City, all of Edmond. Winds 50 to 60. Hail, quarter, golf ball size hail, near and on top of Lucky Star Casino. So we're going to have some big hail. You combine that with winds 50 to 60 to 65. You're going to have some blown out windows and all the above. Let's go to links 4, storm track on Oklahoma City storm. And again, Guthrie, it's just now coming into the west sides of Guthrie, Yukon 545, Edmond at 554, Arcadia 607, pick after city here, Village 558. Down the list is farther away from the storm. Okay. Kearney, 621, Choctaw, 637, Hera, 647, Chandler, 648, and Stroud at about 705. So this whole line moves across every square inch of Oklahoma City, producing, for some of us, damaging winds and damaging hail. And there's still a low tornado threat. It's low. It's not zero, but it is much lower now with this line. Okay, let's get back to our supercell down here, our big rotating thunderstorm. And let's look at that shot there from Jim. It's trying to tighten up. The wall cloud has really developed. Yeah. Okay, so, links 3. There's Ninnekah. There's the hook. Hank's looking back at the hook, back to his west-northwest. Shear rate has the hook now. Is it right on top of?
What direction is Hank looking?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. Okay, let's go back to Hank here. Let's bring Hank back in and get an update. Hank, what direction are you looking? We've got the area of spin now just north of I-44. And it looks like, Hank, the area of spin is going to go right over Chickasha. Tornado warning for you folks in Chickasha.
Yeah, David, I would say so. I'm looking a bit northwest here. So from 19 and 81, I'm looking a bit northwest. Still going to be to the northwest of I-44, I believe, at the moment. And what you're seeing there, I'm gonna back this out. The dry slot came in, the RFD cut came in, and when it started wrapping in, that's where this lowering, this wall cloud started forming. Now, it's not spinning real tightly. However, I will tell you there's quite a bit of rising motion in it. And straight above me, we are underneath the lip of the base of this storm, which is miles wide, and the whole thing looking straight up in the air is like a record player above me spinning. So it's really impressive, actually, as I sit here, and the whole thing is spinning like a top, right on top of it. And then we've got this little area that's lowered a scud that's got some slight rotation in it just to our northwest, David. Back to you.
All right, great job, Hank and Patty Brown. So there it is. There's your area of circulation. A little ragged. That's a good thing. Let's go to Jim Gardner now. Let's take Jim's shot up top. And then there it is from Jim. Look at the right side of the mesocyclone. Wow, are you kidding me? Wow. Okay, so here's your dry air cutting in. That's called the cut. Wraps it around it. And this whole thing is sitting and spinning. It is moving, but it is spinning for sure. Let's go to Jim Gardner and get an update from Jim. And circulation now is going to be about 3.5 miles, Jim, southwest of Chickasha, and the wall cloud continues to organize.
Well, that's right, David. I'm over Highway 19, shooting back to the northwest, and you're right, and Hank is right, too. On the backside of this, we took a shot of the backside of this moments ago, and this entire thing is spinning, David. This entire thing is rotating, like he said, like a record. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's a sight to see, to be up close to this thing and watching this whole thing spin. There we go. Let me spin around here a little bit. But again, it's kind of ragged underneath, David. It really hasn't tightened up. It just kind of stayed ragged underneath. But let's go back to the back side of this and lighten up just a little bit, Rich. It's a little dark. Let's lighten up. Look at this. Look at the backside of this, David, now. This is just absolutely impressive as we look at that and then pan down.
Jim, it's amazing. I mean, that is an incredible shot. And that is a mesocyclone. Folks, we talk about this all the time. We talk about the mesocyclone and we're talking about the hook. But a lot of the times, as you get into central Oklahoma where the moisture is deeper, we can't always see that. It doesn't always look like that here in central Oklahoma. Western Oklahoma, it does. But not here in the metro, or at least not down into southern Oklahoma. It can, obviously, but it doesn't happen that often. All right, let's go back to Links 3. And look, here's an area of circulation now on Links 3 control room coming right into Chickasha. And let me show you exactly where it is. And we'll get it zoomed in here for you. Control room. Do we have a Links 3? I think we do. There it is. All right. So there are two areas of spin. We've got the main area here, which is going now into Chickasha. Okay, that is that big barber pole in the sky. Okay, that's that. It's right here. That's going to go right across Chickasha. The other area is going to be down here where Hank is. We have two areas of spin. We're watching both of these right now. We have Jeremy off to the east. Now, what's Jeremy looking at in his shot? Okay, Jeremy's, oh, he's in the rain. Okay, we got to get him out of that. Okay, then we have Jim down here coming in from the southeast. So we have the storm covered. Okay, let's go reflectivity here.
Okay.
Just see what it looks like. Yeah, you know what? And the reason it's not produced a tornado is because it looks like that. The hook is hanging back on the northwest side. It's not, it's not above anything. I mean, it's definitely there, but it's not tightened up enough. It's not tightened up enough. And if this were to swing around, if you were to see this right here on radar come around like that, we'd have problems. But right now, it's still kind of stretched out and moving to the northeast. Big hail going through Chickasha, just did. Quarters, golf ball, maybe even some tennis ball size hail there. Jeremy's about ready to get pummeled with hail. And he's just east of town. And then we have Hank down here in the other area of spin. So there's two areas of spin. One northwest sides of Chickasha, and then one down here. So we're watching both of these areas of spin. So tornado warning continues for Chickasha, lowest level, center part of the house, and now east and northeast of Chickasha. Okay.
And while you're looking at that, radar estimated winds, it just came through Piedmont to 70 miles per hour now along Mustang Road, just east of Piedmont. So very windy on the northwest side of the metro.
Yep. And we'll come back to that here. Let's do Links 4 now. Storm track on this storm. And again, this is going to be Blanchard. And go ahead and laugh at Cassie. Let me make sure we have this going right here. Yeah, it may be a little bit farther north. It might actually go up towards Stella. So maybe bring it up a notch. Yeah, let's bring Norman into it. Okay, so Middleburg, 546. You're going to get big hail. Dibble, 621. Goldsby, 639. Cedar Mall, 643. The National Weather Center, 646. And the Sam Noble Museum right there at 646 as well. So it's leaving Chickasha. It's going to Blanchard. It's going to Norman. And it's going to Noble. And I hate to even say it, but if it lifts a little farther north, Norman, you're going to get more hail, and it could be up to the size of tennis balls. Gee, many Christmas. Remember back in the day when Norman ever had any severe weather? Now it's like twice and 3 times a year. Or they didn't have anything, and people lived there were like, we don't ever get anything in Norman, and now they can't get away from it. Can't run from it fast enough. Okay, so tornado warning continues. Eastern Grady County, going to Blanchard, going to Norman. Jim Gardner's up top. We have Jeremy. We have Hank on the ground. And there's Jim's shot. Look at the mesocyclone clearly hanging out. Let's come back to Oklahoma City now on Links 3 control room. And winds are going to be 60 to 70 miles per hour, 70-mile-an-hour gust right here, east of Piedmont. There's Tom. And what does Tom have on his wind?
He's right on the leading edge.
Right on the edge. Okay, 68, 73. So damaging winds now. Damaging winds, 50 to 60, gust to 70. There's a 73-mile-per-hour wind gust southeast of Piedmont, up to Deer Creek, and everything that's green on this is where the wind is, okay? And it's a west wind. We can lapse this, show what it looks like. See the wind? Here comes your wind field right into Oklahoma City. You know, that's not our
No, I can change it over. Do you want me to?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Have a little bit of time here.
Yep.
Okay, so there's your wind field. Winds 50, 60, 70 miles per hour, running from, and again, this is going to overspread all of Oklahoma City. So we got to keep that in mind. Everybody gets wind out of this. Some places will get hammered. Some places will not. Also, you guys can also take a look at the power outages. So what we have so far, maybe for Oklahoma County or Canadian County, those are going to start to stack up. All right, so damaging winds now coming into Roche Creek, back to Gaillardia, back to Banner. All right, just blowing through El Reno. Winds where you see the blues are going to be 50 to 60, close to 70 miles per hour, right? With the wind, and even some winds in there over 70. And that's going to come into Gaillardia, Sundance Airport. Winds are going to be close to 70, back to Richland. And let's go to Jim Gardner's shot here, control room. And let me show you the velocity of the updraft in his shot. This is in real time. Look how this is lifting up so hard that it's knuckling back on itself. Again, if you don't storm chase much, you have never seen this before. And let me tell you what's going on. This is a violent motion of air rushing up, and it gets up so high that it hits another layer of air, and it can't punch through it. It starts to unwind and coil out around it. It's like it reaches its lid. And look how this is up, and watch this here. And look how this is folding back on itself. That's what we call knuckling back. And that is amazing. Look at the motion in that vertical wall. That's incredible. That is incredible. No reason to storm chase. We do it right here for you on News 9. That shot.
And that's such an odd thing to see.
Yeah.
For Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It's usually way too soupy for that.
Yeah, for this part of the state, it normally is. Normally, we can't see that here. Normally, this is all shrouded in clouds. So we've taken away, I know this is a cloud, but we've taken all the other junk clouds, and you're left with the real deal. You're left with what it's all about. That is a violently rotating mesocyclone with tremendous upward motion going on. Look at the striations that have now become vertical inside the wall. And then look at the lower levels where the bell is. Left side of the bell is there. Just incredible. Right side of the bell is on the right. And if you get a tornado, you call that the ringer in the middle. But right now, we don't have one. There's the right side of the wall cloud, or the actual mesocyclone. Wow. What a shot from Jim. Okay, let's talk about northern Oklahoma here. No tornado warnings up north. And I know the data, we were looking at it. It was suggesting that the higher tornado threat would be in the northern half. Northern Oklahoma, you've had tornado warnings, but you've not had any tornadoes across the far north. And right now, there's nothing up there that is showing that, okay? Plus, the cold front is catching up with your storms. Let's get a reflectivity up here and take a look at this whole line. Again, blowing through. Any wind damage up there at all?
No reports that I've seen. I've just been keeping a close eye on the Richland wind. Some of the radar estimates over 75 now. So we may have some 80-mile-an-hour winds coming to the northwest side of the metro. Up here, as far as any crazy wind, trackers have all been right there, and they haven't been hooting or hollering in a little while.
No, and they're right here on this thing. So winds up here are going to be 50 to 60. All right, let's go back to reflectivity. Okay. Let's just talk about Ponca City real quick. And now everything is, again, this is a solid line blowing through Ponca. Vaughn's there, down to Red Rock. And again, this is moving east. This is going to Green Country. This is going to clear east of I-35 here the next hour and a half. It'll still be in our viewing area because it's going to be south and east of I-35 and down across southern Oklahoma. But
there's still some kinks too.
Here.
I mean, that just keeps spinning up. But
man, velocity really, look at that, boom. So area of spin now is going to be east of Marty. And what direction is Marty going? Is he going after it? Is he going away from it? Justin, is Marty going east? Okay. Yeah, he needs to be all over that. Okay, so that's moving east. JD's right there. And I see JD shot. Okay, so reflectivity, let's put that back on. Okay. Just heavy rain, winds 50 to 60. Part of the line's not severe. Part of the line is severe, but just assume it's all severe with winds 50 to 60 with some gusts maybe a little bit higher. Coming in on Stillwater right now. Moving into Stillwater from the west, moving down, coming into Langston in about the next 10 minutes. Now moving through Guthrie, now coming into the Oklahoma City West Metro, northwest sides of Oklahoma City. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom on in and take a closer look at Oklahoma City. and nothing tornadic in here, right? Val's in the metro now. Let's get an update from Val, and he is on Portland, it looks like, or near the Portland-Kilpatrick interchange there. Let's go to Val. And Val, what do you think on your wind here? Storms down Oklahoma City. Val's right there looking right at it. Go ahead, Val.
All right. So, David, it's the strongest it's been since we got into the core, and it seems like it's keeping on getting stronger. So right now we have torrential rains. I know you can see our shot. And the wind, right now we're having about 50 from the west to the northwest right here. I mean, it just gets stronger the further we get into the core. So nothing at all that I can see, obviously with, in the form of rotation or anything like that. It's all straight line winds. We have not had any hail yet, but you'll be the first to know when we get it. There was a big gust right there. Back to you.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Good job, Val. Let's come back to JD storm now. And let's go up north now. Let's check in with JD. He's up north now. Let's go to his shot. Let's take him. And JD, tornado on the ground. It's pretty close to you. It's going to be just to your northwest, JD. Tornado is on the ground. Go ahead.
We do not have JD at the moment. Marty is coming in from the west.
Okay. All right. And we can see it here on radar. It's right here. And there's JD. He's looking right at it.
This is right just north of Morrison, right on the 412, kind of the Cimarron Turnpike as it makes that kick back to the south.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs to be moving up a little closer to that, though. I'll tell you that right now. It's on that wrap. It's still about 5 miles to his northwest. Okay, it's right here, right? Okay, let's go back to reflectivity here. Yeah, it's to his northwest, about 3 to 5 miles. It looks like it's right here. Is he in our system, or is he with Tulsa? Okay. All right. So there's his shot. Okay, let's go back to links 3. We'll keep his shot up on the left here. And this is where the tornado is. Here's JD. It's going to go, looks like north of Morrison. And maximum rotation. What shear rate look like? Let's take a look at that.
Okay.
Right here. There's your key.
Yeah, it's where it's wrapping back in, right along the Turnpike.
Yeah, man, it's almost wrapped in rain, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Look at precip. This is south of Sooner Lake.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have to, yeah. Okay, so that's wrapping back in. If JD gets back in here, if he can toggle back and forth, let us know. Okay, so let's come back to, okay, there it is. There it is. Tornado's going to be right here. So tornado's crossing the Cimarron Turnpike right now. Crossing the Cimarron Turnpike right now. Okay? Here's Morrison. Let's back out of this just a second here. Get our bearing straight.
Yeah, okay. South of Center Lake, north of Morrison, and honestly headed towards the north side of Pawnee.
Yeah, it's going to Pawnee. This is going to be Pawnee County right here too. Pawnee County, and it's well past Perry. It's off to the east. Tornado's going to be right here. I don't see any debris. Go ahead and lapse that and see if you see anything standing out of that. No. Maybe a little weakness there right at the very end.
The last scan.
JD is very, very close. Okay. Let's go back south now. Let's talk about the other.
There's the tornado warning.
Tornado warning. This is going to be for Pawnee County. All right. This is Pawnee. Circulation is right here. Confirmed tornado. Okay. Confirmed tornado now. It's going to be just northwest of JD. And we'll get him back in here. There it is. All right. Justin, is he in our system?
He is not in our system, but I'm trying to get in contact with him at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to reach
Val
him.
has 60 to 65 here in the metro.
Okay. All right. So tornado does continue. It's going to go south of Sooner Lake, and it's going to Pawnee, and it's north of Morrison. Tornado's right here. Tornado is right there moving. Let's go ahead and lapse this, see what the movement is.
Okay.
And then we'll do a storm track on that coming up. Oh, it's trying to collude.
Trying to lift up north towards Highway 15.
It's trying to lift a little farther northeast. So it's going to cross Highway 15 the way it's going now. It might completely miss Pawnee, but if I live in Pawnee, if you live in Pawnee and you can hear me, safe spot, lowest level. And if you live from Pawnee west or north of 18 back to 15, you need to be in your safe spot right in here. You need to be in your safe spot, especially west and northwest of Pawnee. Tornado on the ground right now. Okay, so there it is. Okay, let's come back south now. Let's talk about, let's come back to Oklahoma City. Let's go to Valcaster.
And they're just, while I'm scooting down the line, that circulation near Stillwater, south of Stillwater, is ramping up too.
Okay, let's come back south here. All right, let's go ahead and bring Val back into it. Val, go ahead.
David, we're getting 60-mile-an-hour winds here, and I'm thinking we might have had a 65 gust there, but from the west and west-northwest, I mean, it is just rocking the truck, moving the truck all around, all straight-line winds, lots of torrential rain. I think we might have possibly seen a power flash. It was kind of faint because it was a little far away in the rain, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But anyway, where I'm at right now, strong winds. Back to you. Yeah,
no doubt about it. So this is in Oklahoma City. This is coming through the metro. Winds 50 to 60, might have gusts to 70. All right, and we do have weak areas of rotation, but nothing crazy here in Oklahoma City. Look at the rain coming into the metro. That's in Yukon. Let's go back to velocity data, links 3. We're going to query some of the data. Here's West Memorial Road. Okay, folks, this is our next-gen live. This is our 1,000,000-watt dual-pole radar. Nobody has one of these in the state that is this powerful, that the resolution is this precise. This is live data. If you're flipping around, everybody else is delayed. Not here at News 9. This is live data. 79.9 or 79.4 mile per hour winds now east of County Line Road between Memorial and Lake Hefner. So winds 60 to 75 in here. We're a little bit up off the deck. You can count on 60 to 75 in that pocket there. And that's going to move right across the city. All right, so we're going to get power bumps. We're going to get some power outages with that. And it's moving east-southeast, isn't it? A little more east-southeast.
Yeah, and really strong winds out near Yukon as well.
Yeah.
Kind of in that same category.
Yeah, for sure. Yukon here, winds again, 60 to 70. So Val's right here. We have Brandon down near Will Rogers. Hey, Justin, Brandon needs to get back to the west and get back north. He needs to get back in it.
The hail course still east of El Reno, and the radar is still saying golf ball to tennis ball size hail.
Yeah, every bit of that. Yeah, quarters for sure. And then so here's your hail core. Folks, this is going to be a damaging hail event. Now, I'm not saying for the whole Oklahoma City area. We'll have nickels and dimes. We'll have quarters. And then we're going to have at times up to golf balls. Okay? We're going to have up to golf balls. And there might even be some tennis balls in here between Piedmont and Yukon. All right, so let's go ahead and zoom on into exactly where this is. Here's Piedmont. This is going to be big hail right here.
Okay.
Big hail.
Let me stop the laps. There we go.
Hey, Greg. Talk to Greg here coming up. There's your hail. West Memorial, back down to Richland, back down to Banner. And then also another pocket of hail at 164th and County Line. Big hail. This is all a lot of nickels and dimes and some quarters, but this is going to be some golf balls.
I'm going to call Kay real quick and tell her she's in Fort Smith. It's going to hit her soon. If she'll answer, she might be in shelter right now. Come on, answer.
I'm sorry.
Oh, get real.
In here, this will be a damaging hail event for Oklahoma City as it comes in from the west and from the northwest. Okay, Val's right there ahead of the damaging wind right here coming into LaGuardia, back down at Northwest Expressway. Damaging wind 60 to 70. It's going right across Oklahoma City, at least in the north metro. Okay, and we're still talking about the storm down south.
Yes.
Okay, so let's come back south now. Talk about the storm going on down here. And hang on, was that Brandon that was up there? Brandon's right here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we need Brandon to get back in on that. Justin, we need Brandon to get in on this storm. Okay. Okay, so we've got the big storm down south. Tornado warning continues for the big supercell that's out ahead of the cold front. Now, this stuff here is along the cold front, except for the Pawnee County storm. So the main threats are going to be large hail and damaging winds. But the tornado warning continues. Jeremy's down here. And let's go to Jeremy Carter. He's looking back at the updraft now, which is east of Chickasha, southwest of Middleburg. Let's go ahead and bring Jeremy in and get an update from Jeremy. Jeremy, we have your shot up. There's the lowering. Yeah, what do you think? Give us an update on the spin.
Oh man, David, it ain't got much spin at this point. Really, it's died a lot, but you can see it's still trying to hang on for what it's worth. But not even really any area to scud at this point. Main thing is it's spinning over the top of my head. Back to you.
All right, great. Go ahead, take it, Lacey, just for 1 second.
All right, so right there, that's where Jeremy is looking. You see in his shot, he's watching that closely. Jim's watching that same area as well. So is Hank, and this is the tornado-warned storm that's now moving into McLean County. But as of right now, nothing is on the ground with that. They're watching it closely. And then on links 3, as we come further back up to the north, we're still watching the damaging winds that are coming into Oklahoma County as we speak. And I'm going to turn on our live radar so you can see the leading edge of the wind, where you see the green that's rushing towards the radar. So that's going to be a northwest wind coming towards basically Chesapeake now. The edge runs down near Bethany, all the way down to the outlet shops, back to Yukon, and then back up towards Arcadia. And we can query some of that. It's not as strong as what it was now along the Northwest Expressway. Some of the strongest winds are actually Yukon and south of I-40, and that's where Val is located. He's near the Yukon area, but you look south of I-40, still 60 to 70 mile-an-hour winds. And the problem is, we have nickel, dime, quarter, maybe golf ball size hail within that being driven. So that's why we're talking a damaging hail storm. In fact, if you put the hail swath on this and take a look so you can kind of tell where it's been and where it's going, that entire line is producing hail that is coming into the northwest sides of the metro as we speak. So Val is right there. And as soon as Val has an update on the wind, because he's up very close to that wind field, he will jump in here and give us an update back to Union City. But as far as anything spinning, looking for that coming into the metro, not seeing it. So we've got the tornado warning that continues down near, down to the south where Jeremy is. We're near Dibble, now coming north of Ellick. And then we also have the tornado warning ongoing north of Morrison that JD and Marty are on, that produced a tornado near I-35 and Highway 412. Now, watching Stillwater. Stillwater had rotation that's been moving up towards your area. And right now the circulation is south of town, crossing Highway 177. Not tight enough that a tornado warning has been issued on that, but still an area that could produce 60, maybe 65 mile-an-hour winds. Man, the shot from Jim Gardner is still so very impressive with that storm on the south side of the metro. David, as you look up towards the Stillwater area, still nothing too intense as far as rotation is concerned. Guthrie, damaging winds, quarter-size hail. And here in the metro, winds 60, 65 to 70, and there's still indications of golf ball size hail coming in from the northwest side.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've confirmed that in several of these storms today, Lacey. So we've had big hail. All right, so here comes
baseball size hail with the tornado warning earlier.
Yeah,
near Hennessy.
Yeah, crazy. So here comes the wind of it now, moving through the city, running from Arcadia Lake. See the green? The green is going to be winds 50 to 60 to 70 miles per hour. That's what she was talking about. Running from Arcadia Lake down to OCU, back here to outlet shops, and see the pockets of blue. Those are winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour. Okay. Winds 60 to 70, where you see the pockets of blue. Notice it's not everywhere, but where you see the green, we're talking winds 60 plus.
And maybe a little kink there along Highway 52 west of Mustang.
Yep, right there. Yeah. Okay, so 152, we have Mustang. Yep, west of Mustang. Right here, a little bit of an inflow. That's probably on the boundary or close to it. All right. Jim shot still looks amazing. Okay, winds in here. This is over Integris, Canadian Valley, 70 plus miles per hour. Going to be south of Yukon. Val's right there, looking right at it. Let's go back to Val and bring Val back in here and get an update from Val Castor. Val, winds are going to be 70, 75 just to your west and northwest, the way it looks. Go ahead, give us an update.
Oh, man, we just now, David, came off the Kilpatrick and we turned east on the I-40. We have got rain curtains. You know what I mean when I say rain curtains, streaming from the west to the east. We had 65, our highest gust that we saw is 65. I don't think we're in the strongest of the winds right that. But also, I want to tell you, too, that we're getting dime to nickel-size hail. Not a lot of it, but dime to nickel-size hail when we turn on I-40. Back to you, David.
Okay, there he is. So Val Castor in the metro. He's out near Yukon, coming out of Canadian County into Oklahoma County with small hail, but more importantly at this point, winds 50 to 60 miles per hour. And right behind him on his tail end, we've got winds going to over 70. Okay, so let's go back to links 3 on reflectivity here. And across the metro, 60 to 70, running from near Quail Springs Mall down through the West Metro, 50 to 60, you can count on it. And we get these little blue pockets showing up where we have winds to over 60 miles per hour here in Oklahoma City. Not a tornado threat for the metro right now. This is a wind and a hail threat for Oklahoma City. Not a tornado threat right now. Are there still areas of spin? Yes, we have one right here that we're watching. We've got a couple of these little areas of spin here, but nothing too crazy. Let's put reflectivity back on. And there's your leading edge of your wind, by the way. That is shear rates. Pointed that out nicely. All the wind now moving through. And that wind line, there's your wind line between a southeast wind and getting a west and northwest wind at 60 plus miles per hour. Okay, so lots of heavy rain moving across the city. Might start to see a little bit of some localized flooding. Storms are moving, but they're not moving at 60. Okay, so we got to watch it. Okay, so severe storms slicing across the city, moving from west to east. Quarter-size hail in the yellow, where you see the orange. That's going to be up to golf ball size. Notice the hail core is a little bit smaller than what it was, not quite as big, and that's going to come into the southwest metro, into Mustang, into Tuttle. Big hail there. Big hail there. Okay, let's come back south now. Let's talk about the storm down south. Tornado warning continues, and it's got hail is smaller down here. Boy, it turned hard, right? Didn't it?
Yes.
All right, so let's see what the shot looks like. Let's go to Jim Gardner, and it's right over south of Middleburg there. And Jim, storm's still rotating. Still have what's trying to be a wall cloud here, but so far this thing has just not punched it and done it, which is a great thing, but it is still a big, bad storm with some pretty good sized hail, and it is a mesocyclone for sure. Go ahead, Jim.
Well, that's right, David. We just crossed over 76, just southeast of Dibble here, and looking back to the west. Yeah, David, it's kind of ragged right now. It just really it's missing some ingredient that really hasn't made it really kick off there. If we got right up next to it, it is definitely rotating in there, but it's still high base. It's still pretty high. It really hasn't dropped anything, but as far as a mesocyclone, it's a very impressive storm, David. Out in front of this, though, the rain and the hail is really what the concern is right now with this storm. We'll keep you updated. Jim reporting live from Bob Mills, Scotty's 9. Back to you.
All right, great job, Jim. So, Jim, again on the southern storm. Let's go back to link 3. There's a mesocyclone, and this is what it looks like down here right now. It is still spinning. Tornado warning continues, and it's right here. So, if you live in Dibble, if you live in Washington, it's moving east-northeast. It's going to Goldsby. And the hook is actually right here. And the hook is about ready to move out of the tornado warning.
Yeah, they're sounding the sirens in Purcell. The moment, this looks like it's going north of Purcell.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. The hook, you'll get some rain in Purcell, maybe some hail, but the hook is going to go, it's going to have to really turn right. So there's the area of spin, and it's right here moving off to the northeast. So it's going to Cole, it's going to Goldsby. At least the area of spin, it's going to go north of Washington. Now, in here, you're going to have golf ball size hail, maybe a little larger. So big hail in here. Big hail in here, okay? Especially back between Dibble and Blanchard. Big hail here. There's your hook, though, right there, just north of the highway. Just north of the highway. Okay, let's come back farther north now, talk about Oklahoma City, then we'll jump back into Pawnee County. Here in Oklahoma City, solid line of severe storms moving in. Now, ending in Guthrie, moving through Edmond, back down to downtown, back down to Minco, and everything here moving east at about 25 miles per hour. Heavy rain. We'll pick up another good inch of rain out of this. We had 1 to 2 inches this morning, so we could see some localized flooding, but just when we think it's going to get serious enough, these storms are going to keep moving. They're not going to stop. So the flooding threat will not be a continuous thing.
There's another bookend trying to form in southern Logan County, south of Meridian. One of the tightest areas of circulation right now. Okay. Let's take a look at it here. Let's go a little farther north and we'll jump back into Pawnee County. So leaving Guthrie, right here, see that? There you go. There it is, right there. Boom. Area of spin now, south of Meridian. Okay. And it's right here. It's calling it what's called bookend vortex. It's a right there. Boom. Southeast Meridian. It's an area of low pressure mesocyclone that develops on the north side. Clearly showing up nicely there in radar. And from there, it's going over to Kearney.
it's moving almost due east, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so Kearney's next. And then from there, it's going to just keep making its way east over towards Avery. But Cushing, you're going to get hammered with some wind. Let's go back farther north now, talking about the Pawnee storm. And tornado warning does continue for that. That does not look as impressive as what it did, but it's still there.
They managed to stay just south of Highway 15. We were talking about looking north.
Yeah, it is hugging Highway 15. It's getting ready to cross Highway 18. Okay, Highway 18, it's going to cross that here in just a few minutes. Looks like it might have weakened some. Looks like it might have weakened.
Yeah, it's not nearly as tight as it was over the Turnpike.
No, it was over the Cimarron. It was definitely doing it. Okay. So again, everything moving from west to east, 25 to 30 miles per hour. Tornado warning continues for Pawnee County. Circulation is going to go just north of Pawnee. You folks in Pawnee, it's just north of town, about 6 to 8 miles. Then from there, it's going to Skidee and then Blackburn. Okay? It's moving due east now. It's about 30. So it's moving. It's not slowing down. Okay, so the tornado warning does continue for that. Okay, let's come back south, Oklahoma City. And Perkins. I tell you what, let's go back to Stillwater. Okay. My bad. I'm sorry. Yeah. Come back into Stillwater here. Winds in behind the line, or, we had winds 50 to 60. Behind the line, the winds are still, 40 to 50. It's still windy up in here. But the main line now is to your east, okay? Turn reflectivity on. Let's just see what it looks like. Yeah.
There's our...
Hey, if you're in Oklahoma, can you grab the link and tell me what your sky looks like right now? Because it's pretty messed up here. Put that up right now. I see a lot of comments. We love our weather in Oklahoma. Chris, if you're in Arkansas, it's going to hit you. This storm is going to change really fast. It's going to.
Sister station helicopter right near Ripley, watching that little area circulation too.
Yeah, sorry. Our sister station in Tulsa, they're right here. Sky News 6. Okay, then our Jim Gardner, Sky News 9, we're down south. So we're keeping an eye on both of these areas of rotation. So little thing going on here. Okay, so get ready. Ripley, Tryon, back to Bellkel Lake. Luther, you're going to get hammered. It's coming in for you. None of these storms are tornadic. It's all severe. Wind and hail. Right through Oklahoma City. Okay. Let's come back south to Oklahoma City here. Yeah, look at the county here. Heavy rain. Nickel and dime size hail. The hail core in the West Metro has weakened. It has come down some. Right? That's weakened. But don't get me wrong. There's still quarters in here. There's still problems. But notice this right here. Hail core smaller. So that's a good problem to have. Smaller hail means less damage, right? But we still have winds in here 50 to 60. Okay, let's go back to, I tell you what, let's take Jeremy's shot. He's on that southern storm.
Hey!
Tornado warning storm. And Jeremy, nice shot.
I'm live right now. There's a big tornado. There's actually 4 on the ground in Oklahoma. You there, Mama Kay? Come into chat.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'll come see you. All right, bye-bye.
Love you.
Think is that area spinning? Give me an update on what you're seeing right there.
Yeah, David. And I don't know if you can hear me over these tornado sirens, but this area here off the southeast the intersection, the Dibble Crossroads, has quite a bit of scud lifted up into it, and you can see the rotation. There's still holding on as hard as it can.
Okay, great job. And Jeremy's looking at again at the area of rotation that's down by Blanchard. Let's go back to links 3. And here it is. That's the area I'm talking about. So there's your hook. Clearly see the hook. But the way that it's oriented right now, it's an incredible storm to look at from the air, from the ground. But there's your hook. But no tornado on the ground. And it's tried to develop a wall cloud a couple of times, but it has struggled a little bit, which is great. Which is great. But that's a big sail. Actually looks a little bit smaller to me.
the shrunken size for sure. David,
Yeah.
while you're looking at that, and that storm we were talking about up near Ripley is
go
now
ahead.
tornado warned. So Bob is right there. He's on, what is that? Highway 108, just north of Ripley. And this is going to be tracking just to the north and kind of along Highway 18, crossing the river now. And we'll turn on velocity, and you see that little spot right there, little type of a kink starting to really tighten up. So we're getting the shot in now. It's on Rim 123. That's our sister station helicopter taking a look at that circulation. So it's definitely tight. Definitely the folks in Ripley and Cushing need to be in their safe spot right now. Areas south of Ripley over to Cushing, and if you are familiar with Agra Road and East 116th, which is actually Highway 33, that's kind of the area of circulation just to the northwest of there. I'll turn back on velocity, and you can see it. So it's just south of Ripley, just south of town, and if it tries to lift north, like all of these have, folks in Ripley, you need to be in your safe spot for sure. As of right now, it looks like it's going to go just south of town.
Okay. Do we have Bob shot in-house?
We're working on getting Bob shot, yes.
Okay.
And so you can see this helicopter shot. It just went down. Okay. We'll get it back up.
Looking at 6's shot?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's really tightening up. Well, that didn't take long. Look how fast.
It's back.
Look how fast that is. If we can get his shot up, channel 6's, they're right here. We can take that shot, control room. If we can get that shot up. I see it because I'm looking at it. I see ours and I see theirs. In remote 123, control room. And there's their shot from Dustin Stone. He's our chopper pilot up in Tulsa now. So then we have both our choppers working at the same time. Jim Gardner's down south. We have Dustin up north and a big dark area.
Just crossed Highway 108.
Yeah, just south of Ripley.
About a mile or two south of Ripley.
Is it wrapped in rain? Look at
yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's ugly. It's messy. Okay, so that's his shot there. Okay, let's go back to Lynx 3. Here it is. Look at the hook right here, and that's lunging out ahead of the line.
Yes.
Tornado's right here, just crossing the highway. Okay, moving east now. All right, let's put watch this right here. Yeah, really, boom, tightens up. So let's bring up velocity data one more time.
Bob, we got his shot.
Yep, that's weakened.
Okay.
We have Bob shot. Let's go to Bob shot here. He's one of our storm trackers again out of our Tulsa station, and let's take his shot, control room, and there it is. He's not with.
I'm gonna call my dad real quick. He's probably asleep.
Hello. Please leave a message.
Yeah, he's asleep.
That's right. He's still in Tulsa land. Okay. All right. Let's leave his shot up here just for a second. Let's see what he's looking at here. He's coming in. I think he's coming into Ripley, isn't he?
Yeah, he's coming in from the north.
Okay. So it's going to be to his southeast.
Yes.
All right. Well, yeah, it's going to be about a mile and a half. You won't be able to see it from there. It's going to be to his southeast. Unless it's all scoured out, but his windshield wipers are working because it's raining. So
yeah,
visibilities are going to be low. Okay. Well, we've got a tracker there. They're on it. It's just going to be hard to see because it's, again, wrapped in rain. All right. Let's go back to Lynx 3. Talk about tornado warning now. Once again, for Ripley, you folks in Cushing, tornado warning for you. But I want to point this out. The circulation is just to your north, a mile and a half, but it's still about 4 miles to your west.
You can see the hook very easily.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So if you live in Cushing or north of Cushing, you need to be in your safe spot. And tell you what, Cassie, let's go ahead and do a storm track on that Cushing deal.
Yeah, folks in Olton, north of Drumright, need to be paying very close attention. You're not officially in the warning, but that's where it's headed.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's everything's trying to sag east-southeast as the waves moving in. Everything's trying to...
Yeah, the motion should be to the southeast for
sure.
Yeah,
so if I live in Cushing or Drumright, I'm thinking about lowest level, center part of the house, or the storm shelter, because the area of spin is right here.
And while you're looking at that, I'm just looking further down the line. We were talking about the cell near Meridian that was starting to rotate. That's west of Kearney, and it's still spinning as well, approaching Kearney from the west.
Okay. All right. Yep. So that's going to Cushing. Let's go to Links 4, then we'll get in on that. Let's go to Links 4 here and take a look at it here. So there we have Cushing in it. We have Drumright. Cushing, 634. You've got about, 7 minutes or so. Drumright, 649. Oilton, 652. Sapulpa, 732. Kiefer, 736. Glenpool, 741. Tulsa at about 744. That would be far west Tulsa. We'll see if it makes it all the way over there. It will in one-way form.
What's going on?
Hey, cousin, there's a tornado coming towards your house right now.
From where?
It's coming out of Oklahoma City.
Take time. What language is it?
No shit.
Yeah, go look at the sky right now.
I'll go outside and look.
Okay, love you. I tried to get a hold of Dad, and he's not answering.
All right, bye-bye.
Form of the other. But right now, there's a possible tornado.
The emergency manager reporting tornado on the ground, debris on the road 1 mile south of Ripley. So that would have been right where it was crossing.
Yeah, it crossed right 1 mile south of town. Damage there, at least some damage now south of Ripley. And Bob's coming in from the north. I assume that's Bob's shot. With damage there south of Ripley, 1 mile. So tornado confirmed on the ground. It's going to Cushing. It's going to Drumright. Okay. Cushing, 634. Drumright, 649. Write it down. Okay. Moving east southeast. Another area of spin back here near Kearney and Tryon. Watching that now. Not quite tornado warm, but it is spinning. And it's moving east now at about 30 miles per hour. It's going to Agra. It's going to Avery. All right. And then from there, it's going to head down towards Depew and Bristow. Okay. Possible new tornado developing there. Okay. Let's go further south now. Let's talk about the Oklahoma City area. Nothing tornadic in the city. And nothing tornadic in the city, but the line is moving through with winds 50 to 60. Any update on power outages at all?
You can take a look
I'm
here.
just curious.
I'm looking at the circulation down near Cole.
Right. Okay. So, 4,000, 4,300. I just told my ear total. So that's not bad considering how many storms and how many, miles we're covering. Go ahead.
Val was just telling me that he had a friend call him that lives near Ripley that did have sustained damage, possibly by the school, I believe on the south side, and also some power flashes that he did see looking down south towards Ripley.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where we had the confirmed damage 1 mile south of town. New reports from the emergency manager coming in saying a small trailer park in the area and believes there might be some damage there.
Okay. All right. So that's going to be 1 mile south of Ripley. Okay. All right. We'll get crews on that. Trackers continue on. All right. Let's jump back south here again and talk about the storm down here. Big Hook. This storm is shrinking, though. It is shrinking. It's getting smaller. It's still severe. We still have the tornado warning on it, and you still have the Hook. Let's go to Jim Gardner in Bob Mills Sky News 9 and get an update from Jim. And Jim, your storm, I tell you what, it has been impressive to look at. It is getting a little bit smaller, and it is weakening some. Go ahead, give us an update.
Well, that's exactly right, David. We're sitting on Highway 39 just south of Washington, about 3 miles, shooting back to the west. And it is, David, it's gotten a lot smaller. It's still an impressive storm. The circulation is not to what it was earlier, but again, it's pretty high base now. So really not too much activity. The cloud-to-ground lightning up in front of us intensified a little bit, but this storm is definitely is shrinking. But we'll keep watching it. Let you know anything that happens. Jim Gardner reporting live from Bob Mills, Scotty's 9. Back to you.
All right, great job, Jim. So Jim's still on the southern storm. We're not going to leave it until we know the clear is all good, right? So Jim's on the southern storm there. Nice shot, but it is not as big as what it was. It continues to slowly spin down, but these things will spin for hours until they're gone. Actually, no joke, even after the cloud's gone, guess what? The air, even though there won't see any clouds, it'll keep spinning for a while. That's how strong and powerful and how dynamic these are in the atmosphere. Cool stuff. All right, let's get back to it. Links 3, this is the shot there. That's Jim. There's the Hook. Jim's right here, looking right back at the Hook. There's Hank. Hank's looking right at it. And I'll tell you what, let's go to Hank's shot. The hail is coming into Goldsby, Noble, and Slaughterville, but the the hail core has come down. It's not as big and bad as what it was, but look at that. And that is all flowing right into the updraft there. And Hank, just an incredible shot of the updraft. It's still spinning, no doubt about it.
Yeah, David, I'm at the Dibble Crossroads, and I want to pan back here to the south and show you still the inflow that's coming into the base of this storm. I've pan back to the north. That's the updraft base. You can kind of see up on top there where that vault is, but right there is the area of updraft. I won't really say circulation. I know it still has some rotation with it, but we're not really seeing much of that translating down to the ground level. It's actually shrunk quite a bit in size, and you've chased long enough. You know, when these storms shrink in size, a lot of times you're able to see more. So we'll lift up there and you can see
And hello.
Hey, Daddy, there's a storm on the ground coming towards Clamor right now.
What? A storm on the ground?
Yeah, tornado.
A tornado coming toward Clamor?
Coming towards northeast Oklahoma.
Huh. I thought it was out around Huska.
There's like 4 on the ground right now, Daddy, so make sure you look around, okay?
Okay, will do.
All right, bye.
Yeah.
the vault is still pretty healthy there, but there's not really anything imminent that's at the base of the updraft at the moment. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Great job. So Hank's been on this from the get-go along with Jim. And there's the updraft, folks. There it is. That is, and this is corkscrewed. This whole thing is spinning like this. And then it spins, comes out in the horizontal, and then it goes into the vertical. Just a big tube in the air, just a big column in the air. There's the backside of that. There's where your wall cloud would be. And there still is a little bit of a lowering, but this thing never really ramped into gorilla mode, if you will. It never got into beast mode. It did what it was going to do and produced some big hail and wind and lightning and thunder. Okay. But we're still watching that. Let's go back to link 3. That storm continues to shrink. It is getting a little bit smaller on radar. You're still going to get some hail in Noble. Norman, you're going to miss out on everything in this. It is shrinking so fast, but you're not going to miss out on this, Norman. You're not. So you'll miss out on the supercell, but you're not going to miss out on the squall line. Okay. You're not going to miss out on the squall line. Okay. So let's go to and come back farther north now. Severe storm coming into Tuttle. Big hail now. Big hail west of Amber. This is really, really ramping up. Look at there. Golf balls now up to tennis ball size hail south of Minko, west of Amber, southwest of Tuttle. Okay. And then smaller hail in the metro, smaller hail in Oklahoma City. And then from there, we get a little bit of a break. And let's go up here a little farther. And then we'll talk about the tornado threat. Small hail, Logan County into Creek County. And then we have the tornado warning. Look at that. Wow. That is really lunging there. Okay.
Yeah, damaging winds just blew through Kearney for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, both the wind is really, really strong. Okay, so we have Channel 6. Where's Marty Logan on this shot?
He's further north.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, he's way north. Okay, there's that shot from Jim, just making sure it's not trying to tighten up. It's got a little bit of a collar on it now in Jim's shot. And also Jeremy's shot. Just want to make sure. Okay, sometimes when they'll tighten up, they'll try to produce, at least get a funnel, or when it's weakening, if you will. All right, so Marty's up here on the backside. He's going to head up into, he's already moving through Pawnee County. These are now moving into Osage County. So when they get into Osage, a little farther east, and that's when Tulsa takes over with this part of the line. But we still have our own problems going on down here. Okay, so let's get back to the Kearney storm.
Okay.
Take a look, and then we'll come back to Oklahoma City. So Aries spin right there. Yeah, you know what? It did ramp up.
And then it lunged, didn't it?
Yeah, big time. And it really did push east, south of Agra. It's right here still, right? Look at shear rate. See what you get out of that.
Out of which one?
Shear rate.
Okay.
I'm just curious to what it, yeah. Not
yeah,
much.
I mean, the storm definitely that went through Ripley is stronger than that one.
There's your tornado now, crossing the river again, or just crossing the river. Northwest of Cushing. Tornado's going to be right here. So did it occlude or lift farther to the north?
Looks like it might have.
Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's lifting north, so now the warning goes up towards basically Keystone Lake.
Yeah.
So it's going to go into Oilton, north of Drumright, up towards Manford and Keystone Lake.
Yes, absolutely. And that's a wise decision. Moving east-northeast. It was moving almost east-southeast.
Yeah, because the line is crashing to the southeast. But
this thing's trying to wave, maybe a little mezzolow or something there. It's trying to make its way east-northeast. So Oilton, Drumright, Olive, Manford, tornado safe spot, lowest level, center part of the house. You got to go now, right?
And the storm down to the south is now coming into Cleveland County. The new tornado warning will include Norman.
Okay.
Because it's still moving into a favorable environment, well ahead of the dry line.
Yeah, it's just not as big.
Front, right?
Yeah, just not as big as what it was. So this will be a new tornado warning for down south. That storm is smaller, but like we said, we track them till they're gone. So this is the new tornado warning now, and the hook is back here, and the hook.
Zoom in here.
It's gonna have to really. Yeah. Okay, it includes South Norman.
It's very South Norman.
Very
yes.
South
yeah.
Norman,
Basically, it's Highway 9 south.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Along and south of Highway 9. It will not impact downtown or North Norman, who've been hammered so many times. But you're still going to get hammered because you're going to get the second line in behind it. So there's your new tornado warning. It includes Noble, Slaughterville, Etowah. By the way, the hail is not very big down here. Not very big. Okay, let's go back to Jim Gardner. I want to see what this looks like from Jim. There's your hook. Let's get an update from Jim, and notice how it's beginning to change shape again, tightening up a little bit. The storm is not as big, but it's tightening up. Go ahead.
Well, that's right, David. In just the past few minutes, the action in it, the movement, has gotten a lot more dramatic. You can actually see it turning, and you see it lifting, and it's got a whole lot more action into it than it was my last report here. So, again, it is getting smaller, but, this could tighten up, man, and possibly drop a tornado at, But right now we are sitting just on the east side of the town of Washington, shooting back to the west. In fact, it's just probably about a mile to the southwest of the town of Washington. But as you can see, David, you can see the movement in it as we're sitting here. It's getting a lot more active. So we'll stay with it, keep you updated. Jim Gardner reporting live from Bob Bell, Scotty's 9. Back to you.
Jim, that storm is smaller, but it's getting tighter. It's beginning to kind of restrict just a bit, and it is getting tighter. And you can see the motion here in Jim's shot down near Purcell. Right. And here we have this right here. This is kind of rotating to the backside. This is folding over. OK. All right. Let's go to Hank from the ground and get an update from Hank. Can he still see that? Well, Hank's not Hank's a little farther northeast. My bad, Hank. Can you still see what's going on?
Yeah, David, I have turned around. I am now headed west back towards Chickasha. Jeremy and Jim are taking that storm that's going towards north of Washington and towards Norman. We're headed back a line in Chickasha. There's kind of some suspect areas there. So we're going to head back towards Chickasha and watch the south end of this line, David. Back to you.
Okay, great. Thanks for that update, Hank. Hank's heading back to the west. Jeremy and Jim are still on this storm. Amanda was just telling us that the University of Oklahoma sent out alert to students telling them to seek shelter now. But where the warning is, so you can see the rotation, this is going to be on the south sides of town. Part of the campus there is on Highway 9, but just to kind of give you that exact location. The rotation's actually right now near the town of Goldsby, and that is where Jim is looking off towards the north. So that's about to cross Highway 30 for I-35. It's tight. It's now actually the circulation is on top of I-35, and that may stay, say, just south of Highway 9 as it's making its way to the north. So good idea for the students. Take shelter. Know where the circulation is, though. It is currently well to the south. The way it looks, heading towards Noble, really from Highway 9 to the south along 77 towards Noble, David.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, the OU campus is way up here. Now, like she was saying, I mean, there are buildings and the law, I mean, everything's in our camp, part of campus goes all the way down to Highway 9. And I get that, but downtown Norman from there north, and it's going to have to really occlude and come into OU campus. It's right here, right? What's the shear rate?
Yeah, here, I'll put shear rate back on.
Right here, in between Goldsby and Noble. So unless it occludes, we'll see. But sirens are blowing in Norman. That's what that right there is. That right there in Jim's shot. That's what he's looking at.
And not on the ground at the moment.
Not on the ground. And you can't even call that a funnel. If you do, there's something wrong with you. Those are tags that are spinning underneath the mesocyclone. But there are differences, big differences between a funnel and tags rotating around. And sometimes you'll have a lot of armchair storm chasers calling something like that all the time, funnels and funnels and funnels, and it's not, okay? But those are tags that are rotating. If they tighten up, you'll notice a big difference between a funnel and scud or tags rotating under the mesocyclone. Okay, so let's talk. Okay, the storm there. Again, there's your Noble line of fire. Let's do a storm track going to Slaughterville. But the main part of the circulation is back here by Goldsby. Let's go to links 4. And there's your storm track. And again, moving east 30. So Noble is 646. Our storm track pretty much takes it south of Norman, at least downtown for sure. South sides of Norman, along and south of Highway 9. Okay? Looking at Etowah, 707, Asher, 733, Earlsboro, 745, Conowall, 750, and Bowlegs at about 8 o'clock. Okay, so Etowah, you're kind of on the eastern side of this, and Lake Conowall and all through there. Way over here, though, with that. Okay, way down there, too. And that's a little bit too far south. I think it's going to hug right in here. Brooksville, Etowah, Seminole, Bowlegs. I think you're in that, that kind of the immediate line of fire with that. Okay, let's come back to Oklahoma City, talk about the metro. And severe line of storms moving across Oklahoma City. We've had over 4,000 electric customers without power. That's about 3 or 12,000 people. Not that many. No tornado threat right now with this line. This is a wind and a hail threat. And winds in here are going to be 50 to 60. Do we see any crazier wind now?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
You can see it's just kind of a mess back behind in all the rain, but nothing organized as far as a strong wind field or any rotation.
No, it's definitely weakened. The front might have caught it.
Let me look.
It looks like it's trying to. Am I seeing the front now, just northwest of Norman?
Let me see. Right now, we still have, the true front, we still have a southeast wind. Let's see. Yeah, southeast wind. So no, the front hasn't completely caught it just yet. Still intense. And that's why you still have to watch the leading edge. We still have to watch out ahead from Harrah to Choctaw, back up to Wellston. I'll put on reflectivity. That's why we're still watching that leading edge. So the front has not completely undercut that as of yet.
Yeah, not this side, but it's undercut this.
Right now, no.
Okay.
The latest mesonet still has southeast winds in Chickasha, Norman, and there's a southeast wind in Yukon, which looks kind of odd.
Okay. Maybe outflow or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the real strong northwest winds are basically Watonga, Hinton, down to Fort Cobb.
Okay. All right. So the main front, yeah. So there's
still back there, yeah.
Yeah, there is still room for error on this, where we can get something to spin really hard and try to do something nutty. But so far in Oklahoma City, we've had the wind 50 to 60, had some gusts to 70, some power outages, nickel and dime, had some quarter, had some golf ball size hail out in Canadian County. But so far could have been worse. And again, we have the new tornado warning for Cleveland County coming out of McLean into Cleveland County, moving east at 25 to 30, moving almost due east now. And by the way, folks, it is now ending in Edmond. Yeah, it's ending in Edmond. It's already ended in Piedmont and El Reno and Okarche. Big line of storms off to your east, running from now Jennings and Yale and Cushing back down to Norman and back down to Chickasha and Anadarko. So the whole line is severe. And then what you get in that line, every now and then you'll get a spin up. So let's talk about what's going on near Cushing now. And what do you think? Is that area spent?
It's
wow.
Right on the river. Yeah, north of Drumright.
Still there?
So you can see it.
Yeah.
There's another one kind of up highway. What is that highway? I should know. My entire family lives out there. Highway 69 coming into Jennings. Right. And that's still another area of spin. So that's why the tornado warning goes up towards Tarleton and eventually Keystone Lake.
Yeah. But the original
is, between Oilton and Drumright.
Yes. Yeah, I see this here. The original spin, is down here. It's right there. Okay, still with us. So if you live, it can always lift to the north. If you live in Oilton to Olive, tornado warning for you. And then from there, it's going to, you can hear the rain here. It is not. It is pouring. And then from there, it's going to make its way over towards, Tulsa. It's going to Tulsa. All this is going to Tulsa. It's just, what matters.
So if you're in the Tulsa area, you're going to get hit really fast.
So there's the tornado, little ball there sticking out. Little ball right there. Right there. Doesn't look like much to you, but it was. And it did produce tornado damage on the south side of Ripley. Do you have something? Go ahead. Audio?
Amanda.
Yeah, I was just going to let you know, David, the power outages have shot up to 11,767 customers. That's just OG&E. Most of those are in the Oklahoma City area. Getting reports of power poles down, a couple different reports, 1 mile north of Highway 66, around the Yukon areas where those reports are coming in.
Yeah, and obviously it's raining here. We are getting reports of a high water rescue. That at 4500 West Memorial Road. So something we're checking out. We'll let you know if there's anything there. But just that's the situation going on in the metro here as the storms ramp up and it continues to rain.
So people really need to be careful. That's right at the intersection. If you know where Mercy Hospital is in Oklahoma City, it's right Memorial. I think it's North Meridian right there. So that's just a kind of a low water spot, a low spot where a lot of water seems to get, and that's where we're having problems right now.
Already very saturated, obviously, from this morning, and
sure.
Going into the afternoon. So kind of dangerous to be out there with all this rain, and this morning didn't help at all with that. So we'll keep you posted, David. Any other things that come to the news desk, we'll be sure to pass it along.
All right. Well, not good, but here's the good thing: the rain is going to end, so we don't.
Hello?
Hey, there's a tornado headed towards you right now.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you're going to lose power really soon, too.
Oh, great. That's so bizarre you called me because I was just thinking about you, and I was like, I'm getting ready to call Lindsay.
Well, you should have called me. People are losing power all over Oklahoma.
Oh, geez.
I know. It's another day in Oklahoma in the spring.
Oh, wow. Great.
I know. It's really disturbing.
What have you been up to?
Oh, same old, just cooking out and things like that. I'm actually, I'm on YouTube live right now and they can hear you.
Oh, you don't want me on YouTube live.
Yeah, you're on. Everyone say hi to my best friend, Maria. Say hi, Maria.
Very funny. No, you don't have me on YouTube live. Hello?
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not. Don't say that.
You are. Everyone say hi to Maria. Just make sure you get safe, okay?
Okay, I'm on the way home. How long have you guys been back from New York?
We just got back home on Friday.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a fun time. All right, so get home and call me when you get back. Love you, doll.
Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.
All right, so Maria's safe. All right, so who should I call next in Oklahoma? I don't think so. My dad doesn't care. My son Kent doesn't care. So what to do? What to do? The wind here is insane right now. The wind is insane right now.
Oh, I guess maybe we're coming into that.
Yeah, we're just came into it. winds are strongest about a mile and a half to your south. We're looking at winds to 60 to 65. Probably a little bit stronger than where you are right now, just to your south, about a mile and a half. So,
yeah, I believe that they're getting stronger as I speak right now.
Yeah. Okay, so this is more right now. Not a tornado threat. Nope. We're looking at winds 60 to 65. Might have a gust of 70 in there. So power bumps, maybe some power lines down, some tree limbs down, and some folks might be without power before it's all said and done here shortly. Heavy rain, going to have some localized flooding. Could be worse, but the flooding and the rain will not hang around. So I don't expect widespread and all evening flooding event. Okay, I don't expect that. All right, so let's go back to Link Street. Here's the wind we're talking about. There's Tom, and winds down. There's downtown Moore. From there down toward the Moore Medical Center, wind 60, 65. So pretty good wind field all across Moore right now. No tornadoes in Moore. Winds 50 to 60, maybe a gust 65. Okay, and hey.
I'm gonna call my husband.
Hello?
Hey, hon, I'm doing a YouTube live right now. These storms are really bad around here. Where are you at?
Right outside Peculiar, Missouri.
Okay, so you're out of the storms. All right.
I don't know what it's going to be doing around here. It's just raining now and great.
All right. Well, I called Daddy, and he didn't answer the first time because he was asleep. And then he answered, and he's taking precautions. Kent doesn't care. Talked to Maria, and she's on her way home, and that's basically all I got.
Okay.
I called cousin Ronnie, and he's looking at the sky right now.
Okay.
And it looks like it's developed outside of Duncan, Oklahoma, actually.
Duncan?
Yeah.
When's it supposed to be hitting T-Town?
It could be 2 hours, it could be 3 hours, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Make sure your charger packs are charged.
Yep, I've got the bathtub filled with water and everything.
Oh, okay.
All right, talk to you later. Love you.
All right, love you. Bye.
Country girl, you're in Moore?
Hill, down Highway 37, north of Highway 37, just to the west of the Moore Medical Center. Nickels and dimes, quarter-size hail. Northwest Moore, back to I-44, at least some nickels and dimes scattered in here. See the hail core kind of snaking along right there? Nickels and dimes with some quarters in there. Okay? All right, so let's talk about Bridge Creek and Amber, okay? Storms are all severe, winds 60 plus, going to Newcastle Casino, going to Blanchard. And let's back. Okay, I want to get Hank up. Hank's going northeast. Okay, I just
yeah, Chickasha's about to get another storm.
Yeah, Chickasha, you had the first supercell, right? And let's lapse this. Okay. Let's just see what it looks like at home. Yeah, moving east southeast, building down towards just to the east of Anadarko, building southeast down into Chickasha. Big hail now developing just due west of the Chickasha Airport. Big hail here. Going to have at least golf balls. So, yeah, and that's all going to Cole and Goldsby and Washington and Slaughterville and Purcell. Okay, so severe line of storms. Again, running from Burton and Chickasha all the way along I-44, all the way now going into the western sides of almost Tulsa. We're almost there. There's a tornado warning. We have two now. One is for, again, Eastern Payne County. Let's go ahead and take a look at that one.
Okay.
That's our Ripley deal, right?
Yes.
Still with us.
Yeah, it's quickly moving.
Well, it is, isn't it?
Almost into Creek County now.
Wow, look at there. It's crossing the river now between Oilton and Drumright. So what does a shear rate look like on that? Then we'll go to Brandon shot. Look at that. Okay, tornado warning now north of Drumright. You folks in Drumright, like we said, need to be in your safe spot. If you live in Olive, you're in the line of fire for sure. If you know anybody that lives in Olive, this is going to go right over Olive. And velocity data says it's turning. It might be on the ground. If it is, it's still, could be on the ground. Could be on the ground. It's close. It's coming right down the river, just north of the small little community of Frey. Okay, then here's the river. I don't see any negatives in there.
No.
Look for debris. But there it is right there. Boom. Right there. And look how the reflectivity wraps back around. Watch this. This wraps back around. Pretty cool. Okay, let's go to Brandon Pennell shot. And
real quick, Katrina says, Brooks, why do you fill up the tub? So you have water. Because when a tornado comes through, it can rip up the water lines. It'll break water mains. So you'll have no water.
And he is in Norman, West Norman. That has teeth on it. That is coming through Norman right now. And Brandon, big line. There it is, coming in from the west and from the northwest. Give us an update.
Yeah, David, that's right. We're at a Riverwind Casino right here on Highway I-35. This is looking back towards the west, towards the Spur and Highway 62 as well. You know, looking back up to the north, there are some low-hanging clouds, but you can definitely see just in the shot the gust front that's coming out of this line of storms with the cold front. As we came through the line earlier, you know, we only had winds of about 40 and just extremely heavy rain. But you know, this thing still has teeth on it and could intensify. And what goes up must come down. So there's going to be some strong wind at some point. Back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had some of that. You are right, Brandon. We've had some of the winds, you know, 50 to 60 power outages and all that going on. So this is down in Norman. If you're looking at your window, this is what you're seeing. Not a tornado threat in Norman, coming out of Moore. This is going to be a wind and some hail. Okay, winds 50 to 60 as it moves in from the north. But
lowered area right here in my shot.
I see that right there. We're looking at where's his GPS location?
Oh, Brandon?
Yeah.
It's further south. Yeah, here we go.
Okay, is there a little bit of a niche?
Right by the casino.
Is there a little bit of a notch, a little bit of a niche in there somewhere? Do you see anything? No.
I don't see a notch or a niche at the moment.
I'll go with niche.
Okay. I do see strong winds in the east sides of Moore, though, moving into Norman. That's where we've got 65, maybe 70 mile an hour winds. That's what I was zoomed into.
I'm just making up words again, aren't I?
And I let you do it.
No,
you do it well.
Appreciate it. We'll go with that. Okay, so this is coming into Norman, all right? And winds are going to be, 40, 50. Might have a gust of 60. 40 to 50, I think it's going to be pretty common, and nickel and dime size hail, maybe some quarter size hail. Let's go back to Links 3. What were you showing me there?
This is the wind field we were talking about that blew through Tom. This is headed towards the south side of Lake Stanley Draper.
Yeah, I saw that.
Air Depot, southeast 34th.
Man,
and
look
then
at that.
So that's on the TDWR. And then if you look at shear rate, now this isn't rotation.
No.
But I mean, it is damaging winds coming down 164 southeast.
And that's going to go right over, let's see, Lake Stanley Draper.
It's going to go at least on the
on
south
the southern
end.
side, yeah. Southeast 119th. So southeast 119th. There's Douglas. There's southeast 164th down to East Indian Hills Road. See this purple? Damaging wind right here, 60 to 70 plus. You can count on it right there. And the blue, look at it at different radars. It'll change color on you, but just.
Yeah, that's going towards that radar.
So 60 to 70, right? And it's moving almost due east. It's crossing 36th Street right now. Then after that, it's going to Douglas, right? And it's just going to keep making its way off to the east. There's Lake Stanley Draper and southern half of the lake. Winds 50, 60. There might be a couple of pixels in here that are.
They're going right towards the Twin Lakes radar.
Yeah. Yeah. Moving east at about 25 to 30. Okay. So that's that. Winds 60, 70 miles per hour. Southeast 34th, between southeast 34th and Douglas and Lake Stanley Draper. Damaging winds. Okay. All right.
There's still that kind of inflow back
right
in.
Here.
Yeah. Over Tinker.
Yeah. That's what I thought when Brandon showed that shot. I was like, well, hang on a second.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. There's it's definitely pulling that in there. Okay. So I see Tom. Let's check back in with our trackers a little farther north. Where's Val? And there's
Right
Brandon. Where'd he disappear to? Oh, he's coming in on the eastern storm. Okay. All right. I see what he's doing. He's looking at that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the north across the city.
Okay.
Let's get an update on the city. This storm's still tornado warning, by the way. Lake Thunderbird over to Tecumseh, Macomb, Tribby, Etowah. It's a smaller storm. It is still spinning. And Tornado warning on that. Who's right here? Is that Val?
Mm-hmm, that's Val.
Okay, there's Jeremy's shot. What does Jeremy see in his shot? Oh, nothing. Let's see what he's doing. Okay, let's go to Val and get an update from Val. And I don't think that's his shot. Okay. Hey, Val, what do you think? There's the area of spin there. It is still rotating. It's just not rotating as much, and the storm is not as big. What do you think? Give us an update.
Yeah, so, David, what we're doing, we're on the east side of Norman right now, looking to the west. We could see the LP storm over there that does have a lowering, and we can also see this big, bad looking. I mean, that looks mean when you see that coming in, and it is pretty mean with respect to wind. As Tom was saying, wind's over 50 where he's at on the north side of Norman there, and visually looking at this, I can see the scud and the low clouds just racing to the south. So we haven't got the wind yet. We just now had a wind shift right here, but the stronger winds is still north of us. But just looking at that, that's going to be a pretty good windstorm when it comes through, David. Back to you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So that's really our concern here in Oklahoma City. The hail is smaller, but the wind threat is still there. Winds, again, 50 to maybe 60 miles per hour. So that's, Val's talking about the wind, and he's exactly right as this moves on through. Okay, let's go back to links 3, and then we'll do some storm tracks on this. Clearing the northwest half of Oklahoma City. We've had some local ice flooding here in the metro, but simply because it's amazing, 2 weeks ago we were knee-deep in the drought. The drought's still with us, but the last 2 days we have put a dent in the drought. And remember, we're going to have more severe weather and more rain and more storms, including the possibility of tornadoes coming up on Wednesday and Wednesday night. So this is day one of a long week. And then we'll get a decent break after that, and then more severe weather, okay? All right, so here's the line running from Creek County and Pawnee County, running into Lincoln County, down through Chandler, and then down to Moore and Norman and Hank. Now, along the line, all the way into Lincoln County, there is not a tornado threat right now, okay? Nothing in there is spinning like a top that's going to try to do something. But this one lonely supercell out ahead of the line is still turning, and it's going to be just southeast of coming into Lake Thunderbird currently. I see Jeremy's shot. Look at this shot here. See that? There's where the tornado warning is. We'll do a storm track on that, Cass. Let's go to Jeremy now. Let's bring in Jeremy and get a quick update from him. And look at the cylinder that we have been tracking in the sky for the last couple of hours now. And there it is from Jeremy Carter. And Jeremy, no tornado on the ground. We can see your shot, but it is still spinning. Give us an update.
Yeah, and it is beautiful. It is something to behold, but definitely no development on the lower end, like a scud coming down, nothing like that. But, man, really a sight to see. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Great job, Jeremy. So he is still tracking that tornado-warned storm. There are the plates on the mesocyclone. Jeremy staying with it. He'll keep tracking it off to the east, and we'll see what it does. But it has, and it is smaller than what it was. It is shrinking, and that's a good sign. These storms just don't disappear, right? They go 40, 50, 60, 70,000 feet up. They take up a lot of real estate in the atmosphere, if you will, and they're very, very big with very, very big rotating updrafts like that. And that will give you problems. And you can see it. Look at the thing spinning here. Look at the plates on that. Look at that. There's your mesocyclone right there. So it did not produce a tornado. Jim was on it from the get-go along with Hank. And Jeremy is still on it down near Purcell, looking off to the north and east. And Val Castor is looking at it on top of that. Okay, so let's go back to the line here. Links 3. And Justin, is Jeremy still going east with that? Yeah. Let's get him east on 39, and then we'll make a left turn and get him up on that.
There's a storm track on links 4 if you want it.
Okay, links 4, storm track. And again, this is on the southern storm. Now, we've done it on the whole storm here. You're going to get some hail, going to get some wind. Hail sizes are not that big now, but that's going into the Thunderbird Casino, 702, Little Axe, 702, Macomb, 709, Tecumseh, 736, Earlsboro, 752, Seminole at about 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock in Seminole. So the whole storm here itself moving northeast. So Shawnee, if it lifts a little farther north, you'll get in on this. If you don't get this, you might get a little rain out of this. You're going to get this. and this is what's coming through Oklahoma City. And that is our problem, another problem, but mainly wind and hail. It's a wind and hail problem versus this has been and continues with the tornado warning on that. And for good reason. It's spinning, but we've got trackers on the ground, Jim, looking at it. Everyone's looking at it here, and it's not producing a tornado, but it's definitely rotating. It's definitely rotating now right here, northwest of Etowah. Okay, so let's come back to Oklahoma City and come back. Oh, let's tell you what, Southwest Metro here. Go back to Links 3. There's your big view running from Tulsa down through Oklahoma City, down to Chickasha, down to eastern Caddo County. Severe storm in southeastern Caddo. Let's go ahead and zoom on in. Chickasha, you're getting hammered right now with this next wave. And it is now moving into Chickasha. Hail sizes have come down on that, right? And we're being a little bit attenuated too.
Yeah, the TLX radar is being, hit with pretty strong winds at the moment.
So still nickels, dimes, quarters in the yellow.
That's out of Frederick.
Okay. Yeah, and there's going to be some golf balls in here. So golf ball size hail coming into Chickasha, southwest of Chickasha, and then from Chickasha up to Middleburg and Blanchard. Pretty intense line, and it's going to build. See the line here lighting up? There's your cold front. There's your dry line. That's called a double point. Cold front, dry line. And if you're a storm chaser, there's where you want to be. And this is where this whole thing began earlier today up near Woodward in northwestern Oklahoma. It began in those two zones right there when storms began to develop around 1:30, 2 o'clock today. Okay, that was right there. So dry line, cold front. Cold front clearly through these storms. So big hail in and around Chickasha. Winds are going to be 50 to 60. Sliding southeast, again, at around 25 miles per hour. And then they get a little weaker once you get into Oklahoma City. At least over Choctaw and Jones, a little bit weaker there. Still severe down in Norman, and that's going down towards Purcell. We'll do a storm track on that. She's already done it. Look at the winds here now. What I see there on Links 3. Let's go to Links 3. Oh, that's fine. Links 4 is good. Okay. We'll stay with that. Let's stay with this, then we'll go to Links 4. All right, so here's Links 3. Wind 68 to 70. Running from Franklin, which is going to be East Franklin Road, Indian Hills Road, Tecumseh, Rock Creek Road, and Alameda. Okay, and then the north-south, there's Douglas, right? We have over to 84th Avenue, some other streets here showing up. Yeah, what'd you say?
We're hitting kind of high up now, looking out of the TDWR, but still, easily wind 60, 65.
Yeah, 73 is going to be a little bit on the high end, but 60 to 75 is still a pretty good bet. So this is East Norman. Here's downtown Norman, and then from there off to the east. Let's go back to Tom. He's still back in Norman and find out what's going on with this wind. And Tom, we're still showing some wind overhead on top of you there. Give us an update. What are your winds?
They're not as strong as they were earlier. I'd say probably about maybe approaching 30 to 40 here. Right now, we're just dealing with the heavy rain. This is on top of the 1 to 2 inches of rain we saw earlier. So there is water going over some of the curbs like it usually does here in Norman. So back to you.
Right, yeah. And it'll get better. But, it doesn't take much to flood in Norman. It's better than it was when we were all down there back in the day. It flooded all the time. It'll shower, flood would flood. Lindsay, it is better. Good job, Norman. It is better, but it still floods. All right. So we had all the rain this morning, and now we picked up another inch. So give or take, you're going to get some flooding. So today total, we've had some areas picking up over 3 inches of rain, and a lot of that has been heavy rain. So, okay. So who's this shot? Who's right there? That's Hank. Let's get an update from Hank. Looks like some wind might be blowing in that shot. Let's bring Hank back in here, and he's down south, down near Chickasha. And Hank, that storm there coming into Chickasha right now with some teeth on it. Go ahead.
Yeah, David, right now I'm just east of Chickasha at the Tabler Y and kind of letting this core come overneath us. We started to chase some hail to see how big it was. And we've had very small hail, so I was really kind of surprised. I thought it would be bigger, but I think it's come down some. Our winds have been blowing somewhere in the 40 range, but there hasn't been anything too out of control here in the last 10 minutes or so with the south edge of this line. But I think there's still some of the better part of it still just a little to my west in Chickasha, David. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Great job. Again, Hank is down on the Chickasha storm, which is the whole line. Okay. It's the whole line. Let's go back to it. Great shot. And Hank's been on, well, the big storm earlier had the tornado warning on it. It did not produce, but Hank's right here. And we got a hail core over Amber. And then it's kind of scattered hail cores from Chickasha back to the southwest, nickel and dime, up to quarter-size hail. And we have Jeremy here looking at this storm over the Etowah storm. What does shear rate look like on this?
I'll show you.
Just curious. It's trying to kind of tuck back in a little bit. Did you see that?
Let's see. Yeah.
A little bit. Okay. And it looks more favorable now. It's not tilted.
Yeah, it's not in that really weird configuration that it had for about 30 minutes.
Yeah. It looked really weird. Okay, so shear rate, show that to me one more time. Is it back where it should be?
Here, I'll stop the lapse. There you go.
No, it's not, is it?
It hasn't really caught up.
Mm-mm. Okay, nothing on velocity.
And nothing really tight, yeah, as far as spinning in the low levels.
All right. Well, I'm looking at Jeremy's shot, and it's weakening for sure. Radar-wise, it's still severe, still has a tornado warning on it, but there is nothing right now that is screaming a tornado. There's not. It's a severe storm, and you're going to have, remember, hail sizes will vary. The radar is showing maybe nickels and dimes and quarters. You still might have some golf balls that have been up in the 10, 20, 30,000, 40,000 foot level for an hour and a half, and finally they're going to fall back down. But what goes up must come down, and that is no lie. So we'll see. But the nickels and dimes and quarters for sure out of that. Okay, storm track. Let's go to links 4. And this is on the whole line, sliding southeast, Ninnekah, 709, Little Axe, 710, Twin Lakes, 714, Purcell, 716, Payne, 722, Shawnee, 726, Tecumseh, 727, and Rosedale at about 733, Earlsboro, 736, Maysville, 736 as well. Okay, still going on. More, east more, southeast sides of Oklahoma City, other severe storms in Lincoln County. And control room, I think we have the video from earlier today of the tornadoes as we had these live on News 9. Let's go ahead and re-rack that. And when you get it, hit it, and we'll just go. And we had our own News 9 tornado warning. And this thing was spinning. It was spinning faster and faster and faster. Jim was on it. We had trackers on it on the ground. And wow, look at that shot there from Andrew. Hey, Andrew, when you get that shot done, let me know when you get that all written up. Yeah.
He said you can take it.
All right. But let's go to links 2, control room. Wow. There you go. There's a problem. There's a problem. And that's Chickasha. So there you go. Now that was from the supercell. That was a big storm that went through earlier.
Yes, earlier this afternoon.
Yeah. Did not produce a tornado, but it produced.
Yeah, he kind of funneled at one point.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. So.
That's the updraft you've been seeing in Jim's shot.
Yeah, was cranking that out. Mm-hmm. And I'm not surprised there's something, maybe a little bit bigger than that. All right, let's go to the video from earlier today. And the whole thing began with that. This was a News 9, exclusive News 9 tornado warning, right? We issue our own warnings, and for good reason. That's what was going on, and we did not hesitate. We actually issued it before this by about 10 minutes, and then it did this, tornado on the ground. Obviously, it's what we call an elephant trunk tornado, fairly thin rope tornado on the ground, moving from left to right. See some sunshine back in here, and a tiny little vortice on the ground. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. It was hard to see. So that was the first vortex. And that we had kind of what we call a vortex breakdown, is that this spins off the main and it just kind of falls apart. And then we cycle this through again. It tightens up. Remember, it's getting tighter from here up. From the ground up, it's getting faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And as it gets faster, the pressure is lower. And then you start to see the condensate. Look at that shot. And that is not sped up. That is not sped up. That is in real time. Watch the tornado there on the ground, right there. There it is spinning. Tornado on the ground, luckily, in a complete rural area, right? And look at there. Look at the vortice there. Hang on. Here we go.
Somebody driving down that dirt road.
Is there somebody over there?
You see him down right in the middle of the shot.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably a storm tracker. Yeah, so there it goes. So that was another spin up we had. A little vortice. Little subvortice on the backside. right there. See that? The main's up here. So you have a vortice there, one there, and then that was it. But it was, look at the wall cloud on this thing at the time. So small, weak, brief tornadoes, but still tornadoes. Okay, and there's a wall cloud spinning, spinning, spinning. And that storm is now long gone. It was eaten up by the line, but that went on for a good 45 minutes or so. Okay, let's go back to the Etowah storm, and it's getting stronger, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's come up a little bit in intensity. The lightning with it has come up, and I'll show you reflectivity. It definitely looks more like a classic supercell again.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, so Jeremy's busting east. Okay, let's go to Jeremy now. Tornado warning continues from Macomb up through south of Tecumseh. Okay, let's go to Jeremy here and get an update and find out what's going on with him. Jeremy, this storm is intensifying as you make your way closer to it. As you come in there, you're kind of on the backside looking right at it. Your visibilities are still good. If we have Jeremy, let's get an update from him.
All righty, yeah. David, I can see that completely underneath the base of this cell, and it's still relatively high, but I can see it's also come up on radar, and it hasn't made a lot of efforts to transform it into a tornado or nothing like that, but we're going to keep following this and pay close attention. Back to you, David.
Okay. All right, great job, Jeremy. We'll stay up with it here. Keep going with it because it is intensifying, and the low-level winds are such that we can start to crank this thing back up just a bit. It has weakened, but now it's intensifying.
Yeah, it's still ahead of the line. The line will probably catch it eventually, but it has not done that yet.
And it is not contaminated by cool air. It's not contaminated by any other storms. A lonely storm is a dangerous storm, and that is a lonely storm. All right, let's go to Jim Gardner now and look at Jim's shot from the air. And he is back at it. And wow, look at that. That's what's coming through the South Metro. That's what's been moving through Oklahoma City down to Chickasha. That's what's going into Purcell. Jim is right there. And look at the gust front on that. Winds are going to be 50 to 60. Jim, give us an update on what you're seeing now. Go ahead.
Well, that's right, David. We were just right over the top of Purcell. This is what's moving into Purcell right now on the northwest edge. And it's a huge gust front, David. Huge gust front. There's going to be heavy winds with this. There's a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning and rain and hail behind this as it moves through. There's Purcell right there at the lower part of your screen and that gust front. Now, if we turn around here real quick, David, and go to the right all the way out to where Jeremy is, we got the back side of that storm that he's on. Let's keep going, Rich. Go on, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. It's all over there towards keep going. Keep going. Well, you passed it. I'm sorry. But yeah, right in there, and that's the leading edge to the back side of that storm that Jeremy's on that you were talking about. Let's go back to the left a little more, and you can see it right in there, David. So we're kind of in behind that one, and we're in the front of this one, and we'll just keep tracking them to the northeast. We'll keep you updated. Jim Gardner reporting live from Bob Mills, Scotty's 9, back to you.
All right, great job there, Jim. So Jim is really covering both storms like he's been doing all day today. So this is the main line, which is moving through the South Metro down to Chickasha. And that is what's moving through right now. And the Jim's up in the air. He's about 1,000 feet up. That deck's right about there. So this is a big gust front. Nothing tornadic in here. Okay, let's go back to Links 3, and we'll check back in with Jim coming up. Once again, Jeremy coming in from the southwest. They're the hook, getting more pronounced.
Yeah, it's almost trying to lunge. It looks like it's trying to stay just ahead of that line.
Yeah, it's fighting for its life right now, and it knows it. It's definitely moving off to the east. Hey, Justin, is Jeremy stationary? Is he moving? Yeah, I know. I don't see a shot. I see a shot. He's not stationary, right?
Last time I talked to him, he was not. He was heading east.
Yeah, we're starting
And Tom has some flooding there in Norman.
All right, we'll go back. Okay. All right. Make sure Jeremy's still moving. If he's not.
Yeah, we're definitely starting to get inflow now. So starting to see some towards the radar just in the east of Etowah.
Yeah. So, Justin, what's
At Sprouts Farmers Market, we work with the best local farmers to bring you the freshest produce. Organic fruits and vegetables are rushed daily to the home of fresh. Sprouts.
Okay.
Both of them are in bad.
There's a lower base, long stretch, kind of shelf-looking type
cloud.
So
that's
off
there's
to the
where
west
Jeremy
of
is.
Jinx.
He's making his way east. He's going to
And
come
you'll
in
be able to see the amount of
backside of
flashes
this.
coming in
All
right,
right,
now
so a little bit
with
of,
it. So
yeah,
this
a
is
little
an
bit of velocity
extremely
here
well
beginning to kind of show up.
energized storm,
Right in
unfortunately.
here. What is?
And so as that comes into
Okay, that's,
Tulsa,
SR.
and even if we
SR,
only have
what's-
60 to
What's
65
your
mile an hour
face?
winds, which to me is about 50 mile an hour,
Yeah, same-
but as that
same
moves
area.
on through, we are going to see some power outages on the
Very
grid,
weak,
most
but it's just
likely
now showing
in
back
some
up.
areas. Hopefully it won't be your location. But there's a lot of lightning in that storm. You can see some lower cloud bases back to the west of Jinx. And if you're listening to us on the radio at this time, it's just coming in on the west side of town. So let's go back to radar and give you another update.
It's here now.
This moment.
Can you hear it?
Again, Devon's up to the north. He's on some storms up around Bartlesville. Those are not severe at this time. But in Tulsa, now the line has moved into downtown along to Brookside, and then it's arcing back on over to Tulsa Hills. The strongest winds, though, are just coming in on Prattville, which is the south side of Sand Springs. And then that extends from there back down along Highway 97, moving in on the southwest side of Sapulpa. So that's right on 97 in Sapulpa. And just blowing and moving, I mean, just as fast as I say that, it's already past 97 and moving to the east. So this has been a rapid movement to the east. So we're going to get some strong winds with this. Bob's back on the west side of Sapulpa right now. Hey, Bob, can you give me an update on your wind speeds at this moment?
Yeah, Travis, wind speed now where I'm at are down a little bit. I'm thinking they're at about 30, 35. Still got very heavy rain and occasional pain of hail. Back to you.
Good. We'll take it. And then we're looking for JD, who's also been kind of riding right along the leading edge of that. JD, what do you have for us?
Very heavy rain. The lightning has really picked up once again, just south of 412, just south of Sand Springs, down in that Sapulpa area. Very consistent pattern in the lightning. Very intense. We're going to keep tracking it in the calls. Thank you.
All right. Looks like winds are getting stronger too on our south side. So if you are in an area that is from, I would say, just around Sapulpa, Northeast Creek County into southern and southwestern Tulsa County, you should get some winds. Looks like right now we could get some winds 60, 70 miles an hour. And with that heavy rain, let's go back to radar and take a look at what we have at this moment. And then we'll talk to some of the guys here in just a second. On radar, this is a line. You see where JD is located. And,
Can you hear it right now? I've got the windows open.
There's still a bit of a circulation feature that hasn't gone away yet. So we're going to be watching and see how this plays out here for a little bit. This is not in the main place where I'm more worried where it's bowing out, but there is a circulation right around Pogue Airport, and that'll be moving to the east over the Sand Springs, North Sand Springs area. That's where JD is located, so we'll keep talking to him about what's going on. A little bit further to the south, this is arcing. Again, this is the leading edge of the wind, which is now as it moves into the Tulsa area. Let's go back full screen if we could, guys. This is moving from Tulsa County and then down to 61st Street, right in through the Creek County near the Oakhurst area on the southwest sides of Tulsa. So this leading edge should be some 40, 50 mile an hour winds with gusts in there, maybe up to 65 miles an hour or more. And then further south, the winds are even stronger as we go along the leading edge of this. As it's moved now through Sapulpa. It is moving through Sapulpa, we should say. And it is also at this point now moving into, and just going to be through the west side of Jinx, and then also on the west side of Glenpool. And this leading edge could see some winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour right in here. And so there should be some power
It's getting
outages
closer right now.
Damage as that line goes down to Kiefer now. So that is the extension and the line of what we're looking at right now. Station's putting together another update on our storm track. But we do have, and I'll go to her in just a second, but along Highway 117. So if you're any place from Jinx back down to Glenpool, strong winds coming in. These aren't monstrous winds, but they're strong enough. We'll probably see some power outages. And we're getting some power outages out to the west now. And then also with this continues to be, as these winds are marching to the east, heavy rain. So for those of us or those of you who are listening to us on the radio, it is literally coming up on Highway 75 very, very quickly. And you'll probably be able to see that as it starts to roll on in across our area. With our severe weather coverage, you can be listening to us on K-Hits, on the Blitz, and the Bull, and of course the Drive and Big Country. So those are stations that will go continuous anytime we have something threatening right around the metro area where folks need to know. So again, you can listen to that if you have to get up and move or go pick up the kids or something like that, because it is a bit challenging when you have a storm coming in and you need to know what's going on and you're still trying to pick up kids or whatever you might be trying to do. Let's go over to Stacia with an update on the storm tracks.
Travis, I have a track of the leading edge of those really strong winds coming into the city. And so the strongest winds right now potentially down just on the east side of Sapulpa, 60, 65 mile per hour wind potential here. That will be able to do some damage, not just to tree limbs, but also taking power out. So this is still a very dangerous storm coming across the city. So this is leading.
Can you guys hear it?
Now Highway 75 from the Creek Turnpike down to Glenpool. Those winds are coming in now on the Glenpool area. Continuing to Tulsa Hills, again, Highway 75 here very shortly, but it will continue across Tulsa. So Woodward Park, that's going to be here about 7:35. Continuing on to Gathering Place, also about 7:35. ORU around 7:35 as well. So any area, especially in southern Tulsa County, I'd say from downtown down towards Mounds and Bixby, you are in line for some really strong wind potential at this point. Trav?
All right, thanks. Darren, what's your location? You're hearing sirens?
Yeah, I'm sitting at the Creek Turnpike South and 75 Junction, and back to the south, North Glenpool, Southern Jinx, sirens are going off in that area. But the video that you see is looking back west on the Creek Turnpike here. That's the Indian storm we've been talking about all day. Very orange, clouds, and every once in a while you'll see a turtle head trying to stick his head out of that leading edge, and that's that circulation feature that we've been talking about all afternoon long. But again, those tornadoes.
All right. We do not at this time have a tornado warning, though. So again, for sirens to go off, just be advised that we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect, not a tornado warning, but we do have some really rough-looking clouds. And that comes on through with very strong winds. And we could have 50, 60 mile per hour winds, maybe stronger. Some winds could get pushed up to near 70. Let's go to, you're looking at Jinx? Okay, because that's coming in on the Jinx site. And so there it is. That's the line of thunderstorms. If you're out driving right now, you'd be looking to your west. If you're on the radio, listening to us on the radio, that's that line of storms coming in from the west. And you can see it just moving on through. Let's go to, I want to go up to just your Sand Springs and velocities if we could.
Yeah, this bitch is big.
There is a area.
Yeah, brain worms, it's getting big.
Right in here, it was just here a moment ago. Let's go back to INX. Okay, there. So it's not too far west of Sand Springs. There's just a little bit of turbulence in this area where there should be some winds just west of Sand Springs or in Sand Springs at this moment. That should be just kind of going every which way. You should get some strong easterly, southeasterly winds, and then a strong west to southwest wind, because there's still that circulation feature over and near the Sand Springs area. And so that's why I want you to be aware of what's going on, because that's still going to be some pretty wicked winds happening right in that area. JD's been located near there as well. This is west of downtown, but it's now coming up on 75. Let's go down along the leading edge of that and take a look at what we have. Again, the leading edge is taking across Highway 75. It's already now pushing. Let's go full screen if we could for a moment, and we'll show folks this in Tulsa Hills. Coming in off of Highway 75. Some of the strongest winds are on the south side of Tulsa. If you're on the north side, you don't have much to worry about. Still a severe thunderstorm. Isn't quite isn't ripping along quite as much. Bob is coming along on the Turnpike. You see him moving to the east. Just Bob, real quick update from you. What are winds doing for you right now? Go ahead, Bob.
Travis, I'm east on the Creek Turnpike. I'm on Highway 75. I will say winds have been going through for the last 5 to 10 minutes. A little bit less than I think we're seeing on the radar, which maybe they're not coming all the way down to the ground. And I'm just now out in front of the leading edge and getting out of the rain.
Okay, all right, thanks. And the sirens and Jinx are for the winds, high winds of up to 70 miles an hour. So that's why the sirens are going off in the Jinx area. So this will be welcome news that the winds actually are going to be a little bit less. Nobody's going to complain about that. But this is the line of thunderstorms now from around the Jinx area and then extending back on down. And let's go down further south along the leading edge. So this will go in velocity data as we're looking at it. So this will take us right across areas. really from right around Jinx back to the south near Glenpool. The winds are dying down just a little bit. This is fantastic. So great news there. So this storm is still intense all the way down to Glenpool, but it's not horrendous at this point. Is the Jinx camera? How is that looking right at this point? Is that looking okay? Because that should be hammering right into Jinx at this point. Here comes the rain on there. So this is be the leading edge of that coming into town at this moment. And vivid lightning show. Again, no tornado warnings in effect, so we're doing continuous coverage because this needs to still be covered. Winds up to 70 miles an hour are likely with this line of thunderstorms. So you can find some of that just about any place. Our severe thunderstorm warnings will be in effect through 8:15 at least. We're sitting at 7:33 right now. And look over the city continues to just show some low clouds, some scary-looking clouds. But circulation features have diminished considerably compared to what they were out in our western counties just a little bit ago. Again, if you're with us on radio, heavy rains moving in from the downtown area. We'll look at let's look at reflectivity values. One of our shots is downtown Tulsa, which is inundated with heavy rains right now. Heavy rains moved across almost the whole central parts of Tulsa. And so you see the magenta coloring. That is all the way to 169 now. So this has moved rapidly to the east. And 169. So the heaviest rains are on the south side. And so that's where we'll have maybe some hail mixed in there. Some, I'd say, dime size, nickel size. And we're still going to watch, though, for any indications. You can see there is hail. This is a hail mix that goes down around Glenpool to Keeper. So as that moves on through, we expect that to be a little bit concerning. Ron is on the leading edge of that. Is Ron available right now? Hey, Ron, if you can hear me, give me a quick update from your location, if you would. Right on. Looks like you're on Memorial.
I am going southbound here on Memorial. This is now coming in 60. But I am looking back west. That leading edge looks pretty ominous for sure. But man, these clouds, you can see in my shot, these clouds are just flying west into that storm cloud. So it's going to get pretty good, but we're going to keep going east to see what we find.
All right. That's and we're not going to complain if it slows down a little bit. We'd be happy about that. Getting some hail reports with that line of storms going through Glenpool right now, and you can see it's kind of an interesting look in here. So we'll continue to watch this area. But the line of thunderstorms now all the way onto the east side of town. It is blowing and going, now moving into the western portions of Broken Arrow. And so that will continue. Our 3D look shows the heaviest of the thunderstorms showing up right through central and the south portions of Tulsa County. We go full screen on that for a minute. And so this is from Jinx. You can see vertical development with that. The magenta colors are the ones that we're kind of watching more, and then also into the black, and then it gets more intense with those colors that you see there. And so this is where we're having higher probability of hail coming in. They'll be on the mounds, Glenpool side, and then that's going to rapidly move toward Bixby. And so we already have heavy rains in advance of it, but we're getting rains, but the bigger parts of the thunderstorms are still back a little bit, and they're arced as well from kind of the Sand Springs area, then back through downtown Tulsa, down to Glenpool, down the mountains. But some of the leading areas of the heaviest rains are literally on the east side of town now, too. And then that wall of water is coming right through Glenpool and Jinx now with some winds that should be 50 to 60 miles an hour. Some gusts could still be 70. The guys have not had that happen yet. Bob is right along the leading edge of that. Bob, I'll give another update from you. What do you have for Tulsa?
Probably Harvard Yale area. Turnpike. That heavy rain. Winds aren't too overly bad right at this point. I think I've seen a decrease in wind since back to the West Coast on 33. Back to you.
All right, that's some good news because when that thing was coming in, it certainly looked like it was going to be a lot more ominous than what's playing out right now. And we don't want to ever cry wolf because we got to make sure we have everyone sharp. And knowing that when we're talking, we want to make sure that you can react to it because it is a big storm system that is coming through. But this one is not too bad, knock on wood, right now. JD is also, as we look, what's going on, he's on 244. And you can see the, what's that? Yeah. And you can see the rain across on the camera there with the wind blowing So it's whipping it up in Jinx at this time. And then where JD is located, so it's already he's behind the heaviest rain. I mean, he's trying to move east, so Brandon's right ahead of that. Brandon, where he could talk for a minute there. All right, hey Brandon, could you give me an update from your location, just on the east side near Catoosa?
Yeah, Travis. Well, right now we're sitting here at Catoosa, and you can see the center of our shot right there. That's the leading edge of those strong blowing winds that are starting to push across the city there. That leading edge right there. Our winds are dead calm, so it's sucking in all the air into that leading edge, Travis. We're not getting any precipitation right now where we're at. We're going to wait for this to come to us, sample a little bit, and then move east with it back to you.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. So again, that's coming through the Catoosa area now. No tornado warnings, none. Just a severe thunderstorm warning going on. It's a big severe thunderstorm warning. Take a look at the radar, and you'll be able to see. We'll widen out a little bit more so you can tell. There's Brandon just on the south side of Catoosa along 44. And so here's the heaviest rains now moving across Broken Arrow, western Broken Arrow, and northwestern Broken Arrow through Woodland Hills Mall and Memorial Drive. Right now getting really heavy downpours of rain. You should have some dime-size hail mixed in with that. And then you extend down to the south. Now Ron's going to go down through Bixby, so he's out of the storms at this particular moment. And then that band of really heavy rainfall with hail in it is along 151st Street. And that's sitting about Sheridan Gale, and then that extends back to the south. Some of the strongest winds are along that leading edge, and so those winds are a little bit less than what they have been reported. And what we had earlier, as Bob mentioned just a little bit ago, I don't know, where's Darren right now? You know, I see it looks like he's near the leading edge of it. Darren, I'll just ask Darren. Darren, where are you right now? Give me an update.
I'm on the Creek Turnpike over Roller Coaster Bridge. I don't know where that's at, but looking at a good view of Bixby, looking to the south towards their monster shell cloud in that area. But no hail up in this area around the western Broken Arrow area. No hail, very light precipitation, but you know it's behind me back there where Bob is. But this, if you're outside looking at this, there's going to be a little bit of wind associated with that shell cloud once it gets on top of you, Travis.
Yeah, I'm watching your video, and you say, of course, you are moving, but those clouds are moving as well. So they're trucking off to the east and southeast, and so that's a look at what's going on again as it's moving into Broken Arrow. From the storms that are happening there. JD has been in an area just to the north and east. Hey, JD, one more quick update from you on the north side of town. What do you have for us?
I'm on 244 headed towards Catoosa. I can't get there downtown Tulsa, and when I did, I had a lot of heavy rain and a lot of lightning. We had a pause right just up in front of us a little ways off to our east. Don't know what hit, but so we are a little bit behind the leading edge, so we're not getting those strong winds. We are where the hail would be, and I'm proud to say we're not getting any hail at this moment.
All right, good to hear. Hopefully we keep it going that way. So far, the thunderstorms coming through the Tulsa area without a whole lot of issues, so that's good news. But we do have as well storm track stations been putting together for us as far as this storm is concerned. The storm is now, just in case you're joining us on the radio, we're all the way in western Wagner County from around the Catoosa area. Then that extends back down through Broken Arrow, back down into Bixby, and then back down to Hectorville, which is in northern Oklahoma County, down around the Beggs area. The heaviest rains and some of the parts of the storms are primarily in the Tulsa area, and Stage has an update.
Yes, on the east side of Tulsa, we're going to take that leading edge to the east at around 55 miles per hour. The storms have just been racing tonight. So take a look here. This is putting it in Broken Arrow now at this time, and then also in Catoosa right now, but headed over to Coweta at about 7:57, Haskell area at 8:01, and Shogo at around 8:07. The reports of hail out of these storms, if you are concerned about hail, the only reports that we've had have been around pea-sized hail. But the winds, that's the most destructive part of this thunderstorm right now. The winds could still be up to 60 miles per hour. So these storms will continue east at a good clip here. We're talking 50 to 55 miles per hour. Leading edge is getting into Catoosa now. It's moving through Broken Arrow. It's moved through Glenpool. It's knocking on the door in Bixby. And then that will continue over to Coweta, Haskell, Wagner, Shoto, Fort Gibson Lake. This storm will continue east about 50 to 55. So the heaviest rains right now are on the south side of the Tulsa Metro from Jamestown to Mounds. But again, along that leading edge, you're going to have the strong winds, the really heavy rain, and it's a pretty potent storm, Trav.
Still severe, and Ron is on the southeast side there from around the Bixby location. Let's go down to Ron, get an update from him. What do you have for us, Ron?
I don't see any lorries. I don't see any individuals or anything like that. It gives me any kind of indication there's any kind of rotation thing. So, Travis, we're going to keep going east. The half storm and stay ahead of it. So make sure we still see it. Travis, back to you.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. Our eyeballs are pretty much focused just on any circulation features, excuse me, that are in the area. And at this moment, it has been very limited. That has been moving across the portions of Tulsa County. So there's still a little bit of interest just with what's targeted in Tulsa, because we do have some gusty winds kind of at a pivot point, so to speak, of the storm system. And so there's still some indications we could have some winds that could be really gusty, 40, 50, 55 miles an hour in central Tulsa County, near the fairgrounds, extending down to I-44. And that's in conjunction with what has been a circulation feature that has been evident for quite a while. Excuse me. And so that's going to continue from around the Bishop Kelly area off to the east. So even though the main part of the rain and thunderstorms are pushed off to the east, that still is showing signs of having a little bit of turbulence right on the back side of that as that moves off to the north and to the east. So this is becoming a little bit more evident as it's come out of West Tulsa and continues to track to the east-northeast. In fact, a little bit more northeast than anything else at this point. So that'll take it on up, and it should take it along and parallel I-44 and maybe up to around I-40, up to 244. This does not look too bad, but it is something noteworthy to actually see. Back to what's happening with the storms themselves. We do have Ron has already moved into another position, and then we're looking for Bob. If you could give us another update about what you're running into. It looks like you're coming in on the Warren Theaters in Broken Arrow. What do you have for us? You're kind of in the midst of most of that.
Yeah, Travis, actually, I'm on 80 inches. I'm not very light rain right now. There is a lot of cloud ground lightning, and I believe I just heard a lightning strike with possible wildfire. That in South also just went out a couple minutes ago. So we're still having issues with a lot of lightning.
All right, thanks. In fact, we do have a crew headed right off to that, so we'll bring you the latest information on that. That's one bad thing about some lightning, especially positive strikes of lightning. About 10% of the lightning strikes are positive, and those tend to be the ones that cause more fires. Those are the ones that can be really damaging or injury, can cause you a lot more issues if you're struck by lightning or can kill you. So that's 10%, I guess, but it's still, you got to be very careful around the storms. So here's the latest on power outages and what's going on. Creek County now has 500 customers without power. Over in Stillwater, about 300 customers are without power. We have not had any reports in the immediate Tulsa area, but I'm sure Owasso, Stacia just mentioning Owasso has some folks in the Owasso area that are without power. The grid has gone down in an area around Owasso. Stacia will have another storm track for us in a minute, though. But the whole line of thunderstorms continue. If you're with us, joining us on our Griffin Radio family, the leading edge of most of the weather and storms are showing up just off to the east of Tulsa. And the severe weather coverage, again, the locations you can go to is KHITS 106.9. The Blitz, 1170 AM, and of course the Bull, 98.5, and the Drive at 92.9, and Big Country, 99.5. So those are the options for you. Anytime storms coming through the Tulsa, you can flip it on, and you should be able to pick us up, and we'll be live with the folks, and we'll try to give you a good visual as you're getting a visual from your location or if the TV goes out. Again, Bob is down on the south side, as he said. Wind's not as strong. Ron's on the south side as that line's coming through. So we're past Bixby now, passing through Broken Arrow. And then Brandon's on the east side on 412, not too far from JD. Let's go to Stacia with a storm track first, and then we're going to end up talking to Brandon and JD, get a little bit more information on the north side, what's going on. Stacia.
Travis, I'm going to track that leading edge to the east, still at about 55 miles per hour, very fast right now. So these storms are headed out of Tulsa County, or I should say the leading edge is heading out of Tulsa County because the storms still extend back to the west and even still some rain, some thunder around downtown Tulsa. But going off to the east along that leading edge puts it in Verdigris at 749, Stone Bluff at around 758, Justice and Tiowa at 758 as well. Inola closer to 8 o'clock, Haskell around 8:06, and Shoto at about 8:09. Again, the leading edge racing to the east about 55 miles per hour. So at this point in time, this will be taking it into southern Rogers County, southern Maize County, northern Wagner County, northern parts of Muskogee County as well, because the storms extend down into northern Okmulgee County near Beggs, and that leading edge even continues into southern Creek County. That will drop into northern Okfuskee County near Welty here pretty soon. Trap.
All right. Hey, also, that was like around 91st and Delaware, I think, where the lightning strike occurred. So there were our storm teams headed off in that direction. There is right where Ron is located, Bixby and Broken Arrow. Once again, this isn't a couplet, but this is an indication that there is some wind flow coming back around and into it at this moment. So we're going to keep an eye on what's going on right in here. Also, does our Owasso camera show any power grid issues? We can probably look at that in a minute. I'm going to have you zoom in, if you would, on southeast Tulsa around Bixby. If you're with us on the radio right now, some of the heaviest of the rains and thunderstorm activity is located on the western Wagner County, having moved through around Broken Arrow. If we could go full screen again, guys, for a moment. Thank you. Bob is on the east side on the county line, right into Broken Arrow, and close to 169, which is across the Wagner County. But we have heavy rains there. We also have very intense thunderstorm now around 131st, and running just past Mingo, and it just passed through Mingo, and now starting to move over toward the Olive area. This is a really strong indication of some hail, chunks of hail falling there. And we don't have anybody sampling that right at this moment. But if you're along 131st, that could be really a quick uptick in this storm that we're watching. And so this will take it from around the Hakey Creek area and then into the south side of Broken Arrow. Let's look at some velocities if we can as well. Ron might be able to see some of that. So we don't see anything strong, but we're looking, if you're joining us on the radio, we're in kind of just west of Huida, and on the east side of Bixby and south side of Broken Arrow, kind of keeping an eye on what's going on in that area. Heavy rains continue to push now all the way over from around east of Catoosa. Brandon is following that, and JD are following those areas. But down to the south right now, Bob is near the NSU campus, and we're starting to see the heaviest rains and thunderstorms moving there. And then Ron is near Leonard, which is east of Bixby. And so that's what we're going to look at. And I'm going to talk to Ron for a minute if he's available. Ron, if you could, can you give us an update? I don't see his video. It's coming up. All right, let's just talk to Ron anyway. We'll zoom in on that. We are in that area. Ron, could you just talk to me for a minute about what you're looking at up to your northwest?
Yes, sir. That line is still moving. As I can see back, every once in a while, that line is still advancing pretty quick. I don't see any lowering. I know there's an area there that could be some rotation there on radar, but I don't see anything at this time, Travis. I'm going to keep going back to half and see what we find. Back to you.
All right, sounds good. And we had reports of 96th Street north of Owasso, 134th, with lightning striking some power lines and knocking out some power for some folks up in the Owasso area. But we're looking down to the south right now. And so this is a pretty strong part of the storm back up along 131st. So Ron was looking at it from just near Leonard and looking back up along the river into southern side of Broken Arrow. So there's still a pretty good indication that we have some hail core here and some strong winds and moving across the south side of Broken Arrow on the south side of the Turnpike. Bob has been positioned kind of going up and looping through. Hey, Bob, quick update from you on your location.
Hey, Travis, I'm headed southbound on the Muskogee Turnpike. I'm out near Coweta, and I'm on the leading edge, the actual north edge of that line, and we're still getting quite a bit of lightning. Rain is moderate right now. The winds aren't too bad. Back to you.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it. We continue with our severe thunderstorm thunderstorm warnings across a pretty big area. We'll take a broader view right now of what's going on, so you can see besides just the Tulsa area.
To the north, we've had severe thunderstorm warnings. In fact, let's go. Are you on INX station? Velocity. Okay, if you could go to that, because it looks like we're continuing a little bit, or starting to. So right around the east side of Oologah, and then down southwest of Chelsea. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, but it isn't impactful as much. You can kind of see that visually from what we're looking at. But it's not too bad. No tornado warnings. All the tornado warnings have canceled as they were coming into the Tulsa area, thankfully. And now we're still watching, though, on the southeast side of Tulsa for still strong storms that are situated just west of Coweta, east side of Bixby. And there's still some wind damage potential going on down into central Okogie County. Of course, we do have our severe thunderstorm warnings in effect all the way to the south along Highway 75 from Beggs. Now it's east of Beggs down to Preston, extending down to Okogie at this hour, and south of Hectorville, and then on up to Leonard and the east side of Broken Arrow. So it's all the way over to Coweta, in fact. So it's kind of connecting lines from around Coweta, drops off a little bit from the outflow from the thunderstorm activity, possibly. And so I haven't looked at the radar close up. Maybe Stephen will be able to. Stephen Nairns has joined us from the morning team. He's been here for a while. But we're looking at, again, stronger parts of the storm, severe thunderstorm warning, mainly on the east sides of Tulsa into Okogie County. If you're on the west side of Tulsa, the warning has pretty much expired because it's behind the line of thunderstorms from downtown into southeastern Osage County. We're clear of that. We're clear in northwestern portions of Creek County. You don't have to worry anymore. But we are looking at that is a spectacular shot on the T5 right now, I think. That's pretty cool. I don't know if that's the sun doing that or what. Can we go full screen on T5 for a minute and just see what that's that could be clearing skies to the west that also is showing up. Yeah, that's kind of wow, that's a pretty unique picture and a photo. If your radio stations have left us now, but I tell you what, it was that's pretty unique. That doesn't happen too often. So you got the sun setting, you got the lightning strikes going on, sun's hitting the buildings downtown. Pretty unique. Okay, so that storm has moved past downtown now, and we're mainly off to the east, southeast that we're concerned with. The severe thunderstorm warnings have been extended now off to the east. We'll talk to Stacia in just a second about those warnings. Most of the warnings will be extended all the way through eastern Rogers, western Mays, most all of Wagner County, and then also through northern Muskogee County. So we'll be dealing with that for a while. As that looks like this line of storms will continue to track to the east-southeast. They're moving fast, so they are going to be clearing out of many areas. But if you're southeast of Tulsa, we still have our tornado watch in effect. But that is a line of rain and thunderstorms that is still quite intense, very heavy at this point. Tim is kind of between the two. He's down on I-40 at this moment. And so he's watching the storms to the north, watching our storms to the south. And going to be tracking these storms with us. Stacia has an update on this line of storms and what to expect. Stacia.
Travis, I have a storm track on the line of storms from Ofuskee County up into Okmulgee County and the southeast side of Tulsa County. So take a look here. This is the latest track. This is going to continue with really strong wind potential through the Beggs area into Okmulgee. That is going to be happening around 8:02 for Okmulgee, up around the Coweta area, very close here, right around 8 o'clock. So just a few more minutes away from the leading edge of those storms getting to you. Haskell is also going to be around 8 o'clock. And then Bald Hill, right in the line of these storms, is just out to your northwest now. Continuing down to the southern edge of this will be impacting Haydenville. Welty is pretty much in town at this hour, but Haydenville's just to your north at this point. IXL also here very soon. Stone Bluff will be right around 8 o'clock. And then that Stone Bluff is up into southern Wagner County. So these storms in through Ofuskee and Okmulgee County are dropping more southeast, but we still have more of a due east movement through Rogers County and through Wagner County at this time. But still 60-mile-per-hour wind potential here and hail up to the size of quarters. Trav?
All right, thanks. And our guys off to the east continue to show up that there is at least heavy rain and thunderstorm activity that's not too far from where JD and Brandon are located. Let's go over to JD for a minute and get an update off of 412 and see what's going on right there. Both him and Brandon are pretty close to one another. JD, have you had any problems or is it all right?
No, I mean, there's been some people driving way too fast for conditions. We got out in front of the rain. We're getting ready to fuel up, actually. But when we got to this leading edge, we're getting some winds now, but they're really not that strong. You know, we're looking at like 25 miles an hour. And so we're going to go ahead and fuel up and jump back on 412 and head east. Back to you, Travis.
All right, thanks. Let's go to the rainbow. We need a rainbow. T5. And so we're going to go to that. Check this out. Looking pretty good right now. And then lightning. That added effect. And you didn't do that on purpose either, did you, Station? Hey, could you, or Stephen, could you turn that camera to the left a little? And the reason is that there's still, I wanted to look at the, and zoom. Yes, thank you. Reading my mind without saying it. Yeah, keep going left. There we go. I wanted to look at that. So that is an area which is on the east side of town. That's part of an updraft, and there's also this little flanking line going on right now with that. And so you see the thunderstorm itself and how it's just kind of ranging or coming into view there. You see some of those clouds moving from your right side of your screen to the left. And so that's what's happening right in that location. Could you be able to put me on the screen here in a second? You probably had it set differently. I was going to go back to T5 for a minute. Sorry. Yeah, okay. And the only reason was, okay, we'll see. There it is. Okay. So with this, so this is air rising up, and this is on the east side of town. And so there is still kind of an interesting little part of this storm, and it's still very turbulent right in there. And we're kind of losing a little bit of our rainbow at this moment. But I want to go back then to downtown Tulsa, or east side of town, really more toward Broken Arrow, I guess, at this point. That's where the storm is located. And wanted to look at a shear right in that area if we could as well. So if we can go, okay, and just see what, that'll be down here toward the Broken Arrow area, and see if there's anything going on. There was just a little bit kind of in here. So that's part of that turbulent part of that storm. This is the back side of the storm, but just kind of interesting to note as that has been moving off to the south and to the east just enough. And so the structure has been really amazing. This is off of 169 Broken Arrow Expressway. So again, as the storm continues to move across the area, it will continue to push to the east. We still have had a few areas that have had some lowerings in a few areas, so that's why we want you to just be aware. We have a tornado watch in effect, no tornado warnings. The sirens have gone off just because of the fact that we had up to 70-mile-an-hour winds. Once we get to 70-mile-an-hour winds, that's considered very dangerous winds in terms of you lose power. And so that makes a huge difference there. Then back to the south and to the west, we're looking at the heaviest rains arcing now into portions of western, really western Wagner County. So this is Leonard. And so we have about 3 counties all mixed in close there. Tulsa, and then Wagner and Muskogee counties are all kind of pushed in together here, not too far from the Arkansas River. So this is the leading edge of it at this moment. We're on the south side of Broken Arrow, south side of NSU campus, really the southeast side and west side of Coweta.
Okay, I'm losing power right now. My lights are flickering, so I'm going to close the song, okay?